and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Jess Perkins. Hello, Jess.
Hello, Dave. Bit of vibrato for you.
Fantastic.
I don't know why.
There's a possibility that we could get some more of that from our special guest this week. Please welcome Michelle Brasier.
Hello, Dave.
Oh, she's a piece of shit.
Hi, Jess.
Honestly, one of my best friends in the world. I'll say it. I want to be on the record saying that.
Absolutely
but
showed
fuck,
you up.
she's a piece of shit.
Thank you.
You know, one of my ride or dies would call her in an emergency, but Jesus Christ, she's a piece of shit.
Hey, yours was good too.
She will make you look worthless. She's just so good at everything. It's annoying.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for coming on the dumb little podcast. Whatever.
I'm happy to have you here, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Dave. God, what happened to women's upon a woman?
That's what I asked myself when you went, Dave, or whatever.
Dave. Hello, Dave. Welcome to the podcast.
I think we should do the whole episode in like a transatlantic accent.
People would love it.
They would love it. They wouldn't find it insufferable at all. I'm
No.
also not entirely sure I can do it or what it sounds like. So
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's a transatlantic accent? Is that it?
yeah, it's that.
Samantha Jones.
Samantha Jones has a bit of a transatlantic
Just
accent.
turning up and saying Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. This is going to be fun.
Well, welcome to the podcast, first of all, and welcome to Block.
Yeah.
I can't believe I got here. I walked in here. I said, guys, am I in block?
You're
and
in
you said you're in
block.
block. I said, I didn't prepare anything. I haven't dressed properly. I don't know. I'm scared.
I mean, yeah, typically, like we do often invite you to our awards nights and
That's
stuff like
true.
that. But yeah, you're on block, baby. It's an exciting time.
And we're in the top 5. This
Yeah.
is the 5th most voted for. If people don't know the concept of Blockbuster-tober, where have you been? It's the biggest month/2 months in the Do Go On podcasting calendar.
Yeah.
We put out a big poll and said, hey, what do you want us to talk about? We've got thousands of votes, and the votes were tabulated. The top 9 were selected.
Yeah, infuriating.
Blockbuster-tober and Blowvember, which was annexed for some reason, to make it bigger and badder and better. And
Yeah.
this is the 5th most popular topic. Can you believe it?
It's been a wild ride so far. We've
When
had
you-
a little bit of everything.
When you said we put out a big poll, I pictured like a really big boom poll that you, with a mic on the end, that
Yeah.
you're like putting out to the general public going, just yell what you want.
Yeah.
we said,
Yeah.
you there, boy.
What do you want?
What should we talk
What do you
about?
want to see?
There's probably better ways to do it, but that's
You should
just
do
the
it
only
that
way we know
Yeah.
how.
No, that's the right way.
I said thousands of votes. It took months.
It's
It's
ages.
tradition. People go to Italy to see people do that tradition.
Yeah.
Because they have Blocktober in Italy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I go every
Blocktober.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that good? I don't know.
That was really good. Was that
That's
transatlantic?
really good.
That was transatlantic.
I thought so. Okay, now we always start this show with a question, and it's my turn to report on a topic this week, the 5th most voted for topic. And Jess, in theory, has seen this topic written down in a long list somewhere when the topics were assigned, but I am very confident you have no idea what I'm
No
talking
idea.
I'm certain she won't.
I could have just looked at it. I have no idea.
So I'm going to give you a little list here, and you can buzz in at any time, but the question is, what do the following things have in common?
Okay.
We've got the Slinky,
Okay.
Dynamite,
Oh, yep.
Post-it notes,
Okay.
Superglue, Coca-Cola, and matches.
Okay, I've got an answer straight off the bat.
Yeah.
They're all things.
Okay, nouns. Yes, they are nouns.
Damn it. Okay. Going to need to be a little bit more
Is
specific.
this about nouns?
It's the history of nouns.
Okay, we've officially run out of things to talk about on Do Go On.
Because 419. Can you imagine that? People voted for nouns. The 5th most popular topic.
Nouns.
Adverbs was number 4.
Do they have the same inventor?
No, but it is something to do with
Romy and Michelle?
It is something to do with their invention.
Post-it notes.
Yeah, that's very good.
Is this, are they can't be people who died by their own invention, is it?
No,
Accidental inventions.
they were all invented by accident.
Oh!
Congratulations. Well done.
Nice.
Thank
Because I was going to say,
you.
how do you die by Coca-Cola or Post-it
You
note?
fall in, it's that good.
The dream.
No, these were all invented by accident. This is our 5th most popular topic for Blockbuster 2023. It's basically accidental inventions.
Oh, I like that.
And I've got a list. We're going to go through some of them here,
Great.
including some that I already mentioned and some more.
Oh my God, exciting. So he's done a little trailer at the top of the
Yeah.
episode and then So you've really hooked us in.
Yeah, you're hooked. You want to hear about Superglue? Well, it's coming up.
I can't wait.
My friend Ruben Kay superglues me to myself all the time, every August. Every August.
Every August.
Yeah.
An August tradition.
Yeah. In Edinburgh, at Edinburgh Fringe, when I'm at my lowest low, when I'm at my most tired, to pick me up, he'll find an item to offer me, often when I'm like crying, and be like, babe, here you go. And sometimes it's a vegan chicken nugget because the UK corn one's very good. Shout out to the corn vegan nuggets from the UK.
And they're better in the UK than here.
They're much better in the UK.
Interesting.
They're
Okay.
a different texture. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Completely different nugget.
Finally done good food over there. Right.
In the frozen section. No,
That's what others say. I
Listen
love
to me.
their food.
The UK do good food. Have you been to
love it.
Bubbler in London?
No.
Oh, you've got to go. Scooby-Doo, darling. My friend Katie is a chef there.
Oh, yum.
So she's not at Bubbler, but she is a chef in London. But she did work at Bubbler, but that's fine. What I'm trying to say is that Ruben will sometimes offer me a nugget as a gesture of kindness, and it will have Superglue on it.
Good.
And then I will be glued to the nugget or
You're glued to
a glass of wine or some sort of item.
It'll glue something to you.
Yeah.
And how do you react to that in the moment?
I always laugh.
Okay, great.
It really does help.
It works.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Now, this topic has been suggested by a couple of people in different ways. One of them said just to do accidental inventions, and one named a couple. So thank you so much to Scott Coventry from Greenock and Jonathan McGee from Frederick in Maryland.
Nice.
Jonathan McGee from Frederick in Maryland.
That's good. I like it. I like what I've started.
I hope they like it because I'm not going to stop doing this.
No, nor should you.
Now, humans have been inventing for thousands of years.
Wow.
Do you know this?
Really?
From the wheel of Mesopotamia to the latest iPhone sold at the Chadstone shopping centre.
Yep.
Can you believe it? But not all inventions have been on purpose. Some of the best and longest lasting were created by accident and have a lasting legacy. New York Times columnist Pagan Kennedy, which is an incredible name, wrote a series of articles on inventions that eventually became the basis of a book called Inventology. Pagan writes, one survey of patent holders found that an incredible 50% of patents resulted from what could be described as a serendipitous process. Thousands of survey respondents reported that their idea evolved when they were working on an unrelated project and often when they weren't even trying to invent anything at all.
Wow.
So imagine that up to 50% of all inventions could have been the result of some sort of happy accident.
Because you're just giving it a go.
Exactly. You got to be in it to win it.
Yeah. You're out there sticking things together.
My parents invented me by accident.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? I'm one of the longest lasting
Accidental inventions.
One of the most influential too.
Very influential.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you tell me to buy something, I buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy it. I interrupted you, Jess. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible invention.
Now, a couple of the ones I mentioned at the top, we've actually talked about before. Coca-Cola had its own episode. Yes, I'm sure you remember episode 77.
77, yes, all those years ago. Of course, I remember it very well.
Dynamite, we talked about its creator, Alfred Nobel, on episode 199.
Yep, remember that also, of course.
And for some reason, we did a full bonus episode on the Slinky and the weird story of its creation.
We did.
But the other ones I mentioned, well, let's get to them and more. Starting with an invention from 1826. British pharmacist John Walker invented the matchstick. Or the friction match, it was called.
Friction match.
Friction match. You don't like it?
I don't
Friction
like it.
match.
It's fun to say.
Friction match.
Yeah, it's really easy to mess up saying it.
Friction match.
So that's why you're not
Friction
gonna-
match.
Oh, you got it first time. It's pretty good. He developed a keen interest in trying to find a means of obtaining fire easily. Before this, it was grab a couple of sticks and start rubbing, or grab the nearest nerd's glasses. Case in point, pointing to my own face.
Classic.
Several chemical mixtures were already known to ignite by a sudden explosion, but it had not been found possible to transmit the flame to a slow-burning substance like wood. So I think they were trying to get like a safe process. They were like, we know how to blow up an entire barn,
Yeah.
but we don't know
How
how
do
to...
we make a bonfire?
There was nothing in between at the
How
time.
do I get some of the fire from that burning barn over here?
Every town had a constantly burning barn, and you went up to it.
Like a well, but for fire.
Just minimum fire, please. Just $2 worth.
What's a family-size fire?
While Walker was preparing a lighting mixture on one occasion, a match, which had been dipped in the mixture, took fire by accident upon rubbing against the hearth. It rubbed along the hearth.
What's a hearth?
Like the fireplace. He picked it up, it rubbed along the top, and it caused friction, and it instantly burst into a small flame and he went,
Oh.
I think I've got something here.
Wow.
Albeit accidentally.
Wow.
He just had a substance that he rubbed and went, oh, that works. He started making wooden splints or sticks of cardboard coated with sulfur, which is the part of the mixture, and tipped with a mixture of sulfide of antimony, chlorate of potash, and gum.
I was going to say that's what I would have
Yes.
used.
Yeah.
Gum.
Yeah.
I think
Extra. Chewing gum.
Yeah.
chewing gum, if it just caught flames every time it had any slight friction in your mouth.
It actually does.
Yeah.
If you chew too hard, it will catch fire.
You got to be really
Oh
careful.
my God.
Happens all the time.
He sold what he called his friction lights. That was the original name.
Friction lights.
It's a bit better.
Friction lights better than friction match.
Friction match.
Friction matching. To locals in April 1827 is when it first started selling. Each box came with a piece of sandpaper to create a friction with the lights.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
So here's a little sandpaper for it. He didn't patent his invention.
fucking idiot.
And I've heard two reasons.
No offense.
Every strip club in the world would owe him money. They all have their own matches.
I've heard
Is it a
two.
strip club? You know what I mean.
Yeah, strip club.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Strip club. Did you just look to me to be like, did I say the politically incorrect way of strip club? Is that what you were looking at? I thought you were, is it, a sex work adventure house? What is it called?
You know,
Haunted house for sex. They pop out, but they don't scare you. They turn you on.
and everyone's consenting. No. It was more like, is it strip clubs that do?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they do.
And
Yeah,
like-
ladies' lounge.
And
Yeah.
they used to have like, I think growing up, I found my dad had this old collection of matches that he'd got at every hotel he ever went to. Because that used to be a
hotels.
thing.
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
have them anymore. But he had, dozens of boxes. But so he didn't patent his invention. I've heard both because he wanted to share his discovery with humanity, but also maybe because he just neglected to and missed out. So there's
Yeah,
two.
right. Is there like a statute of limitations on when you can put in a patent for something?
I think it's still up for grabs.
Fuck yeah.
You should take it.
Every strip club in the world's going to owe me money. Where do you buy matches?
Strip clubs.
I've never bought matches. They're just always there.
Yeah.
No, they're in the aisle next to the batteries, I reckon, at the supermarket.
Can you buy matches at the supermarket?
Where do you get batteries?
Supermarket.
That sounds like boy stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There
All
are just batteries
when
in my
I say
house.
that, I say, where do I send my man to get batteries?
I can't go into the battery aisle. Everybody will think I'm crazy. Say, ma'am, the Tampax is over here.
You're allowed in one aisle. So the invention took off and was improved on and changed how society lights fires in a time before electricity, but it also had some terrible unintended consequences, leading to something called phossy jaw. Which I'd never
Like,
heard.
I have such a great visual
Yeah,
gag
what
for
do you-
this. I was just going to try and do like Fosse dancing with my jaw, and then I was like, I don't know how I'll do this and how I'll translate it to like audio, but I just want you guys to know that I was really quick and smart and thought of a quick, smart, and funny theatre joke. So sucked in.
I could have done that.
I could have done it. I would have been like,
and it would have been very funny.
yeah, but I
worry
don't know.
about
I
it.
can't do it. I physically can't do it, and you can't hear it.
Fossy jaw.
Phossy jaw. Now, the real name is phosphorus necrosis of the jaw,
Ugh.
which is nasty stuff. Commonly called phossy jaw, was a horrible disease in which workers in match factories were exposed to white phosphorus, the active ingredient in matches at the time, led the workers to develop unbearable painful abscesses in their mouths, leading to facial disfigurement and sometimes fatal brain damage.
Whoa.
It literally caused their jawbones to rot.
Oh my God. Why specifically the jaw, I wonder?
Factory is bad always. It's always bad in the factory.
Yeah.
You never hear like all the factory workers
Yep.
were so lucky.
They were all millionaires.
Yeah,
They-
they're millionaires now. They all got shares.
Great work-life balance, good hours, very, flexible hours for
Yeah.
people who had
Yeah, you work from
lives
home.
and families.
Even Santa tried to have a rebrand and call it the workshop. We know it's a factory,
It's a
mate.
factory Santa. Come
Yeah.
on, mate.
Come on, mate.
That's horrendous. But yeah, it is really interesting that it's attacked the same bone in every person.
Yeah, I guess that's what you breathe it in
Yeah.
all day long. Red phosphorus was much safer but more expensive, so people didn't use it.
Right, of course.
There were lots of pushbacks against the use of the dangerous white phosphorus, including the 1888 Match Girls Strike, which was an influential industrial action by the women and teenage girls working at the Bryant and May Match Factory in London. and it had lots of influence on future strikes and workers' rights. But
great.
Still, the chemical was used until white phosphorus was finally prohibited by the International Burn Convention in 1906. The full title was The International Convention Respecting the Prohibition of the Use of White Phosphorus in the Manufacture of Matches.
Jesus Christ.
Was this before the Radium Girls? Or was this after?
Similar sort of, and they're often compared to each other.
Ah, like which one's hotter?
Yeah. No, it's in like...
Yeah,
Like
each
Fuck,
calendar
Marry,
and-
Kill,
yeah.
Radium Girl, Matchstick Girl, Cool Girl.
Third kind of girl.
Yeah, they're often compared to each other as like workplace injuries or like on a mass level.
Wow.
Wow.
Imagine like being one of the matchstick girls or whatever they're called, right? And like you're working on making something that you can't even go into a shop and purchase.
Yeah, because you try and
You
say,
try.
ma'am,
And it's like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
out of that aisle.
Milk and eggs are over there. We're allowed to get milk and eggs.
We're allowed, okay? We're allowed. Don't look
Okay.
at us like that.
I'm calling the police.
We're allowed. You go play in your matchstick aisle and we'll see you at the counter at the
See at the cannibal.
So-
We're allowed.
So much fun in the matchstick aisle, let me tell you. So, fortunately, over the few years that followed that, industrial use of white phosphorus ceased and we no longer have people with phossy jaw, but that is an unintended consequence of his accidental invention.
Wow.
You never would have thought that would happen.
No.
Next up, we have Post-it notes,
Okay, great.
which, as he said, is covered in Romy and Michelle's movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we know how this one got invented. Well,
that's
we know
right.
who, but
We know who invented it.
There is
Romy or
another
Michelle.
alternative theory.
Okay.
I don't.
No.
In brackets, incorrect.
I didn't know this was a fiction podcast.
Yes, you do. Post-it notes were invented by Arthur Fry.
Oh, his name wasn't even Post-it.
No.
Disappointing.
Didn't name it
Arthur
after
Fry.
himself.
Artie Fry. Post-it bit man.
I think there's something in Artie Fry as a business name.
I think his business cards should be Post-it notes. You know,
Yeah.
he hands them out and then you can stick it somewhere.
That's good.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
If he hasn't done that,
You could just stick it to people.
yeah.
Cop that.
Yeah, got that. Like,
Ow.
wow, that was incredible.
That was powerful.
I'm going to call that man.
Arthur Fry.
Arthur Fry. Artie Fry, an American man who started working at the 3M Company, originally the Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing Company.
Oh,
That's where that comes from.
Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing.
3M.
Wow.
Yeah, you know
never
that,
thought
that
about
big,
From
big
3M hooks?
Yeah.
Yes, those same hooks.
The very same.
The very same.
Mining and manufacturing. Are they still mining? Should I stop buying 3M hooks?
I don't think they are
it's
anymore.
tough out here for renters.
I don't think they are anymore. But while studying a chemical engineering degree, Arthur Fry started working for the company in the 50s, and he stayed there a long time because in 1974, Fry attended a seminar given by 3M colleague Spencer Silver. Oh, that's a great name.
Spence Silver.
Put it there.
Yes.
And at the seminar, he spoke about a unique adhesive that he'd accidentally developed in 1969. Silver's innovation had an unusual molecular structure, yielding an adhesive strong enough to cling to objects, but weak enough to allow for a temporary bond. So, like, you could take it off.
Yeah.
He's made a shit glue.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Honestly, he was like, this glue is so shit, I don't know what to do with it. But
you could stick paper to stuff and then you could take it off pretty easily, actually.
yeah, and he's like, but it's strong enough that you could stick it on again. You
Yeah.
get a few sticks out of it. But he's like, and he was looking for a marketable use for the invention. He's like, I made shit glue. I don't know what to do. Silver didn't know, but his talk had lit a fire of an idea. Our guy, Artie Fry, worked in new product development and was a bit of a thinker. And to quote from howstuffworks.com, like, I guess this is how the Post-it notes work. A singer in his church choir, Art Fry, was constantly frustrated that the bookmarks in his hymn book kept falling out, causing him to lose his place.
I hate that.
So
your hymn
annoying.
books?
Here I am, Lord. Is it? Oh, I don't.
I don't know where I am.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
Oh, fuck. Oh, sorry, Father. I fucked it again. Sorry, sorry. I'm frustrated.
You understand, fella.
That exact scenario happened. He then thought of Silver's adhesive and that it could be used on paper as markers in his hymn book. This idea still didn't grab the attention of the company's executives.
Why? It's so sexy.
Yeah. Hey, I was in church. They're like, snore. But a lab manager named Jeff Nicholson was determined to get it to market. He thought it was a good idea. So he and his team created enough of the product to distribute free samples to businesses and people throughout Boise, Idaho, 90% of whom reordered the product.
Wow.
They're like, hey, here's a little free sample. And they were like, hey, that shit was good. Can we have some more? And You might ask, why are most Post-it notes yellow? Well, that was also an accident. During the process of experimenting, Nicholson's team borrowed some scrap paper from the lab next door, and the paper happened to be yellow. After the scrap pile had been depleted, they simply continued ordering more yellow paper.
There you
And
go.
that sort of took off as like the...
No reason.
Now you can get all sorts of different colours,
Well,
but
it's
yellow's still the standard.
You can
Classic
get pink.
yellow.
Girls are allowed now.
Yeah.
Girls are allowed Post-its now.
I get a hot pink one that has like lines on it so I can write, like in nice
Straight.
and neat. Because
Yeah.
otherwise I write in like a little circle and
Like
you
a
can't
boy.
read it. Yeah.
Yuck.
But that classic yellow you think of, it's a pretty boring yellow too.
Yeah.
So I do think like jazz it up a little bit.
Jazz it.
Yeah.
Jazz it.
I like a neutral Post-it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really nice. Just like a
Like
brown.
a beige.
Yeah, brown or beige. Forest green. You can't read the ink, but I love it. It's lovely.
It's a beautiful palette.
It's really nice. It doesn't interfere with the energy of my space, which is a sacred space.
My Post-its have to match.
My dog
space.
vomited on my carpet yesterday.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Just talking about my sacred space.
yeah. She was like, I don't know.
We got a new rug. Oh, she was like, I don't know. That was so good.
You're on fire.
We got a rug to put in the spot where she always vomits. There's a spot where she like tries to make it outside and she doesn't quite make it.
Right.
So that's where she vomits or shits if she's got diarrhea. That's her like awful spot.
Yeah.
And so we got a rug to be like, this rug is for you to shit on.
Yeah.
And she's just vomiting all around the rug, just everywhere near the rug.
Yeah.
Whoa, I respect the rug. I'm not going to...
Yeah, she's like,
Ruin
oh,
the
not
rug.
on the rug. Oh, God. This new rug.
It's your favourite thing. I know you love this
They
rug.
love this rug. They made a real song and dance of like putting it down and like showing me the rug. So I would hate to upset them. I'll vomit next to the rug.
I'll vomit next to the rug. Not on the rug. The rug's for emergencies.
I'll find a hard place to clean up and I'll vomit there.
So Artie Fry was honoured with the company's top technical title after it became a worldwide bestseller, Corporate Researcher.
Oh my God, Artie,
What
congrats.
a cunt.
Congrats.
But he said, my biggest reward is to see so many people use and appreciate my product.
But wouldn't it be better if you had heaps of money?
Yeah, if I had a cent for every Post-it note, that would be even better.
Yeah, that'd be way
And they
better.
come in like a 20 pack.
So that's 20 cents per pack.
Per pack. And they sell millions.
He'd be crushing it.
Post-it notes are sold in more than 150 countries, and Fry is still alive today, aged 91.
Whoa.
What a guy.
That rules.
But
Oh.
there is controversy.
Ooh,
There is a
la la.
rival claim as to who invented the Post-it note.
Romeo and Michelle.
A third
Michelle.
claim.
Oh, a third claim. Wow.
Another American inventor named Alan Amron, who invented these, you'll know these inventions, the photo wallet, and also battery-operated water pistols.
Oh,
Sure. It's got the runs on the
okay.
board. He claims that he was the inventor of the Post-it note. Amron has made claims to be the inventor in 1973 of the technology used on Post-it notes, and he said he disclosed his invention to 3M, the big company, in 1974.
Ooh.
He sued 3M in 1997, which resulted in a confidential settlement.
A
Oh.
settlement.
Yes, we don't know.
Was Romeo and Michelle in the settlement as well?
I would hope so.
Yeah, it was a three-way settlement.
Three-way settlement.
Amron's a pretty interesting guy. His Wikipedia page, which is wikipedia.org, is this website about inventors I found.
Oh.
It says that in 1976, he created the International Committee to Reunite the Beatles,
What?
which failed.
What a fucking nerd.
Yeah, he sounds like he has too much time on his hands.
He placed radio and newspaper advertisements asking everyone to donate $1, which would then be given to the Beatles to reunite for a concert.
Do you think that it went to the Beatles, or do you think maybe he took it
I
to
don't
make
think,
some
I
battery-operated
don't think
water
anybody.
guns?
I don't think anybody gave him any money.
Oh, you're drinking that delicious orange juice, Dave.
Oh, do you like this?
I love that juice.
It's actually so good.
That's the best orange. That's the best orange juice.
Didn't I say when I had a sip, I said, this is very good.
Is this your first time sun zesting? Is this your first sun zest?
To be honest, it was the last one in the fridge at the cafe we went to, and I was thinking that I was getting the poor man's juice.
No, mate. You have
Because it was all that was there.
struck gold.
But it's absolutely delicious. Is it?
sun zest.
Is there sugar in this? Like, is it just...
No, it's just juice and it's got pulp in it, as God intended. It's fantastic. This is
my
not
God.
an ad.
No, but how is it so different to other
It just
juices, I
tastes
wonder?
so good. It
That
tastes
that's-
really good.
There's a reason there was only one left in the whole fridge.
Yeah,
Go
that's
to school.
right. You were lucky.
It's a good juice. It's before like all the juices that you get at the like also just nudie juice is
Yeah,
a good
yep.
juice.
Yes, that's the one I often
It's a pre-nudie. So before nude was when nude was fully clothed.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Sunzest was at fish and chip shops around the country enticing you. And I said, yes, please. And I've never gone back. I mean, I'll have it. Any orange juice. I'm not a loyalist. I just want to make a big deal.
You're a fan.
I'm a big fan, and I think it's a small company. It's probably owned by Coca-Cola, but listen, it looks like a small company. I love that. I love that juice.
It has that family biz look.
They've got the made in Australia, made from Australian grown organic oranges too. So there you go.
Organic oranges. Look at that.
Wow.
Good on you, Sun Zest.
375 mils of pure heaven.
Who invented Sun Zest?
Johnny Sun.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, and you think
And his best friend, Gregory Zest.
Yeah, put them together.
Greg Zest.
Zest is a sick last name.
Actually, isn't
It's
it?
really good.
Should I change
Jess
mine?
Zest. Jess Zest.
Okay, not for me, maybe.
What
Michelle
about
Zest.
Zest.
Shell
Dave
Zest?
Zest.
David Zest.
That's
David
good.
Zest.
Sounds good.
Oh my God.
David Zest is
David
amazing.
Zest?
David Zest. A real pleasure.
You honestly got just like hotter just then?
Yeah.
When you said David Zest, I was
Okay.
like, am I going to fuck Dave? Like, this is crazy.
Former
Call
Q.
your wife. Like,
Former Q.
tell her
Yeah.
it's David Zest.
Yeah.
David
She will
Zest.
finally fuck you. I'm certain of it. I'm certain.
Finally.
David Zest. Could this be a new me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, start calling me David Zest. Let's try and get
No,
this actually
as
to take
soon
off.
as you try to make a
I
nickname
hate
stick,
it.
yeah.
Do not call me David Zest.
All
do
right,
not call
David
me.
Zest.
Do not call me a sexy man.
Yeah, all right, David
Do
Zest.
not rebrand me as an absolute sex machine.
Got him. David Zest.
All right, post-it notes. Tick from one sticky thing to one of the stickiest things.
Oh, jeez.
Superglue and chicken nuggets.
Yep.
Yum.
Vegan chicken nuggets. During World War II, Harry Coover was working for Eastman Kodak's chemical division in Rochester, New York. He was part of a team conducting research with chemicals known as cyanoacrylates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's close enough. In an effort to find a way to make a clear plastic that could be used for precision gun sights for soldiers. It's hard to say. Precision gun sights.
It is hard to say.
Have a go.
Almost as hard as, what was the match one?
Yeah, I was
Friction
trying to
match.
Friction match.
Friction match.
So this one is precision gun sights.
Oh, God, you're good.
Precision gun sights.
You're both much better than me.
Yeah.
So for soldiers, while working with the chemicals, the researchers discovered that they are extremely sticky, and this property made them very difficult to work with. They write about how
Lay down your arms. I'm trying. Like, it's like Guns Akimbo, that Daniel Radcliffe movie where he wakes up and he's got guns. Like, attached. Is that what happened? It was what started the war, you
they
said?
would apparently they'd be so annoyed because everything would just stick. They'd just like their hand would like stick to the fridge and they'd be like, fuck. Everything's fucking sticky.
Yeah, that would be
It was
really
a
annoying.
nightmare.
When you're like, trying to get stuff. Get off.
And they found that whatever the product they came up with would bond anything to anything, and it was just annoying. So they were like, okay, this isn't feasible to make gun sights out of because it's too sticky. Move on. Then in 1951, our man Coover experimented with the glue yet again, this time to develop heat-resistant jet aeroplane canopies. And again...
Canapes. These are
one.
heat resistant. And these ones are gluten-free.
They're all sticky. Because again, everything was annoyingly sticky. He and his team tried the substance on various items in the lab, and each time the items became permanently bonded together. It is so fun.
Shit!
Shit,
I
not
wonder
again.
if it will... Oh, shit! Well, surely not the... Shit!
Like the boss walks in one day after a day of research and like 15 researchers are all glued together. Oh, help!
Help.
I told you about the time. My landlord, I had this crazy landlord for a time, and he was like this old Italian man, and he lived 2 doors down, and one day he got stuck in our house. So I came home, and he was out in the backyard, and he'd sat on, you know those chairs that are like wrought iron and they're sort of curly and white?
Yeah.
He'd sat on one of those, and he always wore a leather jacket even though he was 6,000 years old, and I came out the back and he had this weird voice, and he would always just come over with no real reason. He'd just be there, just sort of say, and I live with Demi Larder, and he referred to her as the little one. He would tell any tradies that the little one's in charge. And like, I came home one day,
Perfect.
and he was just yelling from the backyard, Michelle! I went out the back, and I was like, what are you doing, mate? And he's like, I'm stuck. and his jacket had like looped onto one of the curls of the chair, and instead of taking off his jacket, he'd stayed stuck to the chair in the rain in my backyard where he legally should not be.
He could have just taken the jacket off.
Could have just taken it off.
Unlooped it.
Got
And
on
away.
his
God.
Michelle.
How long had he been out there? Do you know?
He said he'd been there for hours.
He's like, I would rather die here than take my jacket off.
And what? And when? How did you get him out of that situation? Did you take the jacket off him?
I immediately just like unlooped him. It was so easy. I was like, oh, boop. It was really.
He'd been there for hours.
Yeah.
I
he
love
was
him.
really good. I
Yeah.
love him too. He was the best landlord I've ever had. He was crazy. He was so crazy.
Michelle. So they're all stuck together.
They're also, so Cooper notices, fine, we
Like
can't
stuck to a chair in
We
a
can't
backyard.
make shit out of this, but this stuff's really, really sticky. Maybe we could use it as a sticky thing.
Yeah.
So he made,
Stop trying to make a sticky thing be a not sticky thing.
yeah, like a solid thing. Just go lean
Just
into it.
let it be sticky.
If you got a couple of kids and one of them is like an amazing dancer,
yeah.
you're not going to make that dancer be a mathematician.
Yeah, and if you've got a couple of kids and one of them's an adhesive,
Yeah.
don't try and make it
A dancer. Encourage them to be sticky.
They're going to have terrible footwork.
it's
Yeah.
going to be so bad.
They'll be able to do that Michael Jackson thing where they lean forward real good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true, but that's all.
That's the only move. The moonwalk is out of the question. So he realised these sticky adhesives had unique properties in that they required no heat or pressure to bond, and he patented the product as alcohol catalyzed cyanoacrylate adhesive compositions / superglue.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Away with words.
yeah, that's poem.
And he began refining the product for commercialization. According to Lemelson and MIT, later it became known as Superglue, and Coover became somewhat of a celebrity himself, appearing on television in the show I've Got a Secret, where he lifted the host Gary Moore off the ground using a single drop of the substance. He also appeared in TV commercials for Superglue.
Wow.
I don't think you could lift a man with a single drop of superglue. I think there's been some trickery.
Do you think that if Ruben glued you to a nugget and then could pick you up by the nugget?
I've never been picked up by a nugget. I've never had that pleasure. But I'll try.
Sounds like you should go on an episode of I've Got a Secret.
I've got to speak.
I've never been picked up by a nugget.
I can't see the show. That's hosted by Steve-O from
Jackass.
From Jackass, and it's like called Killer Karaoke or something, and people have to sing a song whilst they put their hands into boxes full of like spiders and snakes. And so they're like singing but screaming. There's this American woman, she's very confident, she's singing that like before he cheats song, and she's like, sit on down in my pretty little things. It's the best TV show I've ever seen in my entire life. I can't think of anything better. I write for TV. I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
It's the best
It's
show.
done.
Yeah.
We've clocked TV. Perfect TV does exist.
Everyone look it up. It's on YouTube.
I love it. I've never heard of it, but I'm going to check it out.
Before he cheats Killer Karaoke, I'm going to show you guys after.
Can't wait.
You'll love it.
So yeah, it took off, Superglue, and during the Vietnam War that followed, it was discovered that the glue had medical applications as well. Field surgeons began using the substance by spraying it over open wounds, which stopped bleeding instantly and allowed hurt soldiers to be transported to medical facilities for conventional treatment.
Wow. But then you have to get off the superglue.
Yeah, that bit probably hurts.
Yeah.
So I guess you're like, well, he didn't bleed to death
That's true.
on the helicopter ride over. Over the course of his career, Harry Coover was awarded more than 460 patents.
Oh.
In 2010, he received the National Medal of Technology and Innovation from President Obama. This is the highest honor the United States can offer to a US citizen for achievements related to technological progress. And Coover died in 2011, aged 94.
Whoa.
Wow.
These inventors live long lives.
Well, they're being rewarded.
Thanks
For
for your
contributing
service.
to society.
Thank you for your service. Have a long life.
Probably superglued himself to the earth.
Yeah.
Try and take me.
Superglued his soul to his body.
Yeah. Sucked in, dickheads.
Death comes in a little hood. He's like,
Death's
come
like,
on, fucko.
Oh,
Let's
fuck,
go.
I can't get him. He's
But then
stuck.
Death turned up with some coconut oil in it.
Yeah, he just worked it through.
How about the microwave?
Okay.
I don't have a microwave.
Oh my gosh, neither do I. But just because we moved to a new place and it didn't fit in the cupboard, so we just left it at the old place.
No, I have a microwave. I just like canonically don't have one.
Oh, okay, great.
Do you know what I mean?
Canonically.
Like in terms of my brand, I don't have a
Oh,
microwave.
okay, great.
I don't think I use my microwave that much, but I think I'm quite useless. And the times when I do use it, if I didn't have it, I'd be like, I have nothing. I don't know what to do.
How else would I boil water?
There's no other way.
I think that's what Americans do, right?
Yeah,
They put it in the microwave
I believe so.
or something like that. Or maybe they put it on a pot.
Maybe a stove.
Yeah,
Stove. They don't have a kettle.
Yeah, kettles aren't super common.
Just walking around, no kettle.
Yeah.
They go to work, no kettle. No kettle at the work. No kettle on the tube.
Yep.
That's what I love about London. You get on the tube and there's just
Kettles.
the kettles everywhere. Every seat has its own little kettle. Do you love that?
You make a cup of tea, you enjoy your ride.
I love the tube. I love it. I love the kettle. If anyone from London's listening, never change that on the central line where it screams. Never change that.
Yeah.
Keep that scream.
It's nice.
Keep the scream.
Mind the gap. Don't drop the kettle.
That's right. Down the gap.
Well, in 1940, the microwave kind of came to prominence. Let me tell you about it. American man Percy Spencer began working at the Raytheon Manufacturing Company. That company still exists today, making missiles, military training systems, and electronic warfare products.
Cool.
According to the Popular Mechanics, Percy Spencer was their go-to problem solver, working on radar technology, and helped to develop proximity fuses or detonators that allowed you to trigger artillery shells so they'd explode in midair prior to hitting their mark.
Oh.
Sounds nasty. Spencer
Wow.
earned several patents while working on more efficient and effective ways to mass-produce radar magnetrons. Popular Mechanics explains, a radar magnetron is a sort of electric whistle that instead of creating vibrating sound, creates vibrating electromagnetic waves.
This guy sounds like an evil scientist.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
Yeah.
Totally.
But now we can have rice in 90 seconds.
That's so good. Just open it a little bit in the packet.
Give it a squeeze.
squeeze. You go squeeze it.
Put it in.
Oh, thanks, Uncle Ben.
90 seconds and dinner's ready.
I wouldn't know, but
Yeah, of course.
I've heard.
Gee, you're slaving away over a proper stove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting it done the
I
old
grow
school
the
way.
rice myself.
You grow the rice. You don't use gas.
I don't use gas.
You blow it until it gets hot.
Yes.
In 1945, Spencer was testing one of his magnetrons when he stuck his hand in his pocket, preparing for the lunch break, when he made a shocking discovery. The peanut cluster bar that he had in his pocket had melted.
Oh.
Can you believe this?
What the actual fuck?
He was freaking out.
He's like, great. Well, there's my lunch gone.
Oh, and now my pants are ruined.
Oh, I think he had an accident and he said it's a melted peanut
Oh, no,
cluster
it's
bar.
my peanut.
It's a cluster. That's why it's chunky.
Don't smell it.
I think he's had an accident.
And he covered it up by inventing a microwave.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it melted my bar.
All right, Spencer, this is the oldest trick in the book. We know
I
what you
never
did.
pooped myself.
Shut yourself, mate.
I
never pooped myself.
It's also commonly said that it was a chocolate bar that melted, but his grandson, Rod Spencer, is adamant that it was a peanut cluster bar.
Okay, Rod, have you got some other stuff going on, or this is the most important?
He said his grandfather always carried one so he could feed it to squirrels and chipmunks he encountered.
That's so funny that he's like, a little squirrel, a little chipmunk, the end of humanity, a missile.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I love to carry little treats for my chipmunk friends.
And it's possibly more significant because chocolate melts way more easily than a cluster bar. So, like, that's not going to melt just from your body.
What's a cluster bar?
I think, like, you know, like if you have like a Nutri-Grain bar or like an LCM sort style.
Think
Is
of
that
it more
something
clustery.
Prepackaged
Sorry,
from one of those aisles?
Yeah, one of the aisles you don't go
Okay.
in.
No, I don't. I go on the outside.
Yeah.
I stay on the outside.
So he's like, the magnetron made this melt. That's weird. So he tried it on other foods. Popcorn popped.
Fuck yeah.
He made the world's first microwave popcorn. He then tried an egg. It exploded. The world's first microwaved exploded egg. He was ticking them off. And according to a website that I can't believe it exists, but it truly does, it is historyofmicrowave.com. Can you believe that?
I can, and it's my new
I
homepage.
can't believe it. Here's what it says. The microwave cooking oven was patented by the company Raytheon, with one of the first prototypes placed at a Boston restaurant for testing. The first public use was in January 1947 in a Speedy Weenie vending machine in Grand Central Terminal, which sold freshly cooked hot dogs. The first commercially available microwave also
Can you do
appeared.
this in a transatlantic accent? Like a Speedy Weenie machine that had hot dogs in New York.
It sounds insane.
Speedy Weenie.
Speedy Weenie, come on.
Do you want a Speedy Weenie? Sweetie. What do you need?
Do you want me to feedy? The first commercially available microwave also appeared that year, 1947, and the first models were huge, about 6 feet high and weighing more than 750 pounds. They cost $5,000 at the time, which is equivalent to $65,000 today.
Wow.
So they're for commercial use,
Yeah.
but what would you put in it?
I think that they would put them in high-end kitchens and things like that. Places that could afford, this cutting-edge technology.
High-end kitchens, are they using microwaves a lot now?
I'm sure they are, yeah. I'd say so. Every chef loves a microwave. Every chef.
Yeah.
Show me a chef, I'll show you a microwave.
I love them.
What was it called? A magnet rod boy? What's it? Speedy Weenie? What's it called?
Speedy Weenie.
Micro.
Magnetron?
Magnetron.
Yeah.
I'm going to call my microwave that I don't have my magnetron.
Yeah, I just got to pop that in the magnetron. And then dinner will be ready. So just got to melt some chocolate in the magnetron.
Nigella has a microwave.
That's true.
Because she says
Microwave,
microwave.
of course.
Which we love. After World War II wrapped up, wartime technologies were adapted for domestic purposes. The ovens became smaller and more suitable for homes. These days, there's a microwave in more than 90% of American homes, so hundreds of millions, if not billions, have since been sold. Percy Spencer never received any royalties for his invention, but he was paid a one-time $2 gratuity from Raytheon, the same token payment the company made to all inventors on its payroll at the time for company patents.
$2.
Raytheon can suck my dick, but also he did invent missiles, so he can also suck my dick. They can both suck my dick at the same time.
Wow.
I'm really fun. I'm like fun sexually. Yeah.
Percy Spencer died in 1970, age 76, not too bad.
Yeah, well, that's for a reason, isn't it?
Okay.
No offense to your family if they're listening, but you made bad things.
His grandson is adamant that it was a peanut cluster bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, his grandson probably has mining money and he can S my D as well.
Yeah.
I'm fun. I'm open.
Okay, now
Get
we're
'em
not
all
saying
in.
suck my dick. Okay.
S my D.
It's only got you can only say it a certain number of times. So
You got to ask.
it's my
Otherwise,
dick.
this has to be on SBS past 11 p.m.
Now, some products are invented for one purpose and then found to have a totally different application. For example, Play-Doh.
Oh.
Do you guys know anything about Play-Doh?
I know how it tastes.
God, it tasted so salty and good
It
in my
was
memory.
salty,
So
yeah.
good.
Haven't had any for a couple of months, but
It's been a while.
I seem to remember it tasting great.
It tastes so good.
It actually started out as a wallpaper cleaner manufactured in Cincinnati in the 1930s.
What?
Wallpaper cleaner.
Yeah, it was initially devised at the request of Kroger Grocery, which wanted, this is a business, not a person, which wanted a product that could clean coal residue from wallpaper.
Coal residue from wallpaper.
Yeah, I guess you have your open fireplace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it would just get on the wallpaper. And this kind of imagine Play-Doh-y stuff. You just rub it off,
Yeah.
rub the wall. And this type was invented by Noah McVicker. But following World War II, again, the world's changing with the transition from coal-based home heating to natural gas, the resulting decrease in internal soot and the introduction of washable vinyl-based wallpaper, the market for wallpaper cleaning putty decreased substantially.
Shame.
The Smithsonian writes, Joseph Vicker, related to Noah, who was one of the inventors of the wallpaper product, was trying to turn around the struggling company when his sister-in-law read an article about how wallpaper cleaner could be used for modelling projects. Sister-in-law Kay Zufall, which is a great name, who herself was a nursery school teacher, tested the non-toxic material with children who loved moulding it into all kinds of shapes.
Oh, cool.
Worm. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Worm is a great one.
You just roll it for a while.
Sausage.
Sausage.
Sausage is
Snake
a good
is a good
one.
one.
Snake is
yeah.
a good one.
Wallpaper cleaner.
That's a great
Yeah,
one.
but like
a long, thin bit of
yes.
Worm.
Worm is a good
Yeah.
one.
Worm is a good
Chopping
one.
up
is a
two
good one.
worms.
2 worms.
Couple of worms.
2 worms kissing.
Oh my God, Dave.
Stop it.
That's scandalous.
So she, her kids were playing with it. So she told Mick Vicker of her discovery and even suggested a new name. She said, you should call it Play-Doh.
What?
So that
Does she have
brother-in-law.
fat stacks?
I imagine the family got rich. It was difficult to track down this, who the original inventor is because there's so many people.
I would like to say that
in the chain.
original inventor is her. She's the smart one.
They
made something that cleans the wall and she went, you fucking idiots.
This is fun.
This is Play-Doh now.
This is Play-Doh.
Advertisements promoting Play-Doh on influential children's television shows in 1957 furthered the product's sales and it soon became a cultural phenomenon.
Wow.
Play-Doh has since sold more than 3 billion cans since its debut.
Wow.
And because of its history as different products, a few people have been listed as inventor or developer, co-marketer, that kind of thing. So it's hard. I really wanted to track down basically to see how old they were when they died to prove my theory that all inventors live on. I did find an obituary for Philip Steiner, whose company Kenner Products developed and marketed Play-Doh, and he's sometimes listed as an inventor, and he died at 92.
Okay,
Wow.
impressive. When did that girl die?
I'm not sure. I couldn't find much more about K. Zufall.
Good
we
name.
should start an investigative podcast about what happened to K.
Having a
Zufall.
K. Special K investigation.
Yeah.
We can get a sponsor.
Okay, we can maybe workshop the name a little bit more.
And the
but-
sponsor can be Sunzest.
It's good. We love it. Okay, here's a couple of quicker ones. Ice cream cones were invented way, way, way after ice cream, which had been around since the emperors of the Tang dynasty in China.
Whoa.
Between 618 and 907 AD, who are believed to have been the first to eat, quote, a frozen milk-like confection that people have since pointed to and gone, that's ice cream.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is cool.
But what about the cone?
Yeah, what are
Cone's
you eating
important.
it out of?
Before that, we were just scooping with our hands like animals.
Or like in a bowl? That's fine. But
It's-
you can't eat the bowl.
You can't eat with a spoon. You look like a creep. You can't eat it with a spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, those
Yeah,
tiny little
you're right.
spoons.
You have
It's
to stand there
disgusting.
making eye contact and licking it for ages
That's
instead.
normal. That's better.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, it's dripping.
The last time I had, I think it was the last time I had ice cream was on holidays, and I wanted ice cream and my partner didn't want ice cream, but we got ice cream, and I said just one scoop please because we'd had a big dinner, and it was like the biggest fucking one scoop.
Yeah, the scoop-
It was huge. It was too much.
One scoop. Oh, okay, I'll give you one scoop.
Yeah.
We just sat at a little table. It was too big for me to eat on the go. We had to sit and I had to like kind of rush my way through it.
That's fair.
was
I understand how that
still
happened to
Flavor?
Mint choc chip.
Oh, okay. Your favourite flavour, Michelle?
you. Chocolate.
Oh, I love chocolate too.
Pandan as well. I like coconut and pandan, but I'll never go past a chocolate. Maybe like a chocolate cookies and cream or a chocolate
Yep.
with something, but I will
Oh
always
my
choose
God.
chocolate.
You and I should get ice cream together. We get
We
each
should
other.
go get an ice cream.
I mean, that's the beauty of going and getting ice cream is that you can all get ice cream and get different flavors. I mean, I don't know why I can't come.
I don't think that's what it is.
No. That's not how it works.
But
Jess.
you can
but mine
come.
has
You
mine
just-
has chocolate in it.
Okay. That's a good argument,
It's
Dave.
mint choc chip.
If you just say choc chip and you just whisper the mint, I'll let you sit at the same table.
Choc chip for me, please. Choc chip.
mint.
Oh, I genuinely want to get an ice cream now. And I would get it in a cone, which you couldn't do for a long time until this is a lot later than I would have thought. The 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis.
I thought you were going to be like 1998.
My dad, Martin. No. According to How Stuff Works Again, which does have a great article that I'll link to about a few of these inventions, Arnold Fornishow, an ice cream vendor at the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis, had trouble keeping up with the day's demands because it was quite hot.
He's just scooping straight into people's hands.
Have a go. Have a look. Have a look.
Quick.
Throwing bowls of ice cream.
He had so much ice cream, he ran out of paper cups to serve it in. A nearby vendor named Ernest Hamwee was having the opposite problem. His waffle-like pastry called zalabia, which is popular in the Middle East, North Africa, and West Asia, wasn't selling. So he gave some to Fornishow to serve ice cream in, and the tasty combination has been a hit ever since.
Wow.
That's great. What a good
Happy
story.
accident.
This
Yeah.
cone-like thing, yeah.
That's just people being nice to each other.
That's beautiful. That's a story about like cross-cultural.
Yeah.
Like that is, hey, that's beautiful.
And now we get
I liked
waffle
it.
cones, and they rule.
Thank you, Zalabia.
Yeah, waffle or die.
I want Zalabia. Has anyone had that?
No.
Is
No, I
it the
hadn't.
same as waffle or is it like a warm?
No, it is different. Let me look it up again.
I want to eat that.
Yum.
It actually looked, when I looked it up, a bit more fried. It's a fritter or donut-like thing found in several cuisines across the Arab world, West Asia, and some parts of Europe, influenced by the former.
Wow.
Yum.
There is a fritter version which is made of semi-thin batter of wheat flour. So that's the fritter version. I think it was more of a pastry version.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, but when I'm looking at it, they look delicious.
I'm going to eat that.
Now I want Zalabia.
I'm going to see if there's Zalabia nearby.
I think you're just hungry.
Yeah, I always am. Okay, in the 1930s, Swiss physicist Walter Jaeger was trying to invent a sensor that could detect poison gas.
Okay.
It failed.
Sure.
Yeah.
And annoyed, he lit a cigarette. And wouldn't you believe it, his device registered the smoke from the cigarette. This accidental discovery led to the invention of the modern smoke detector.
Wow.
Which now detects when you've burnt some toast.
Yeah, damn it.
And you're like, I don't need your passive-aggressive bullshit. I know I've burnt the toast.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, so annoying.
Someone get a tea towel.
Do your dogs
I have
freak
a
out?
panic every time. No, my dog is absolutely fine, but because of my history with fire, I freak out. My
Yeah.
body just like loses control. And I know that I'm fine, so I'll be like, I'm fine. I know I'm fine. And
Yeah.
Tim will be like, it's okay, you're safe, because I'm like,
Yeah.
but I'm also like, I know I'm fine.
I'm okay.
But I'm bawling my eyes out and shaking.
I've done a little check and I'm not on fire
I'm
this
not on
time.
fire. This time, I made it through. I've just Googled Zalabias near me.
Yes.
And so it says that they're known in Greece as leukomades.
Oh.
So those little guys,
Oh, they're
you know
great.
those little guys, and they are very close to us.
Yum.
Leukomates are very nice. I
Yeah,
have
those
had
little
those.
balls.
Delicious.
So I think they're Zalabia balls. I think, do you know what? They're probably some sort of like bastardization, what we're thinking of, but like they are a delicious treat and I love them.
Yeah,
they're,
yum.
They're really, really yum.
So he was trying to invent something that detected poisonous gases.
Yeah.
But
And then it didn't
which
work.
I guess well no, is smoke a gas?
I don't know. No, smoke's a vapor.
Yeah, so no.
A vapor?
I was trying to like back him up. Like, yeah, he kind of did.
He did, I think.
I think that, honestly, this is much more.
Fire is poison
much
for
more
all
useful.
humans. No one can. Well, I mean, I can, but most
Yeah.
people can't
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah. I mean, your smoke alarm goes off and you cry.
I
so
cry. Yeah, I do cry. I do cry.
I don't think you can take it.
Yeah, I can take it.
Okay, you'll never imagine what the next guy invented.
What?
John H.
Sandwich.
Kellogg.
Oh,
Sandwich. I'm going to stick with sandwich.
Yeah, sandwich. I think it's no. I think it's not fucking each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a big fan of that. But
Yeah.
before that, he invented cornflakes.
Wheat Bix. Oh.
Nutri-Grain.
That was Chris Bix,
Milo cereal.
which
Does that still exist?
we have it in my household
Okay,
regularly.
that's yes.
Absolutely delicious.
They made a plant-based Milo, and it changed my
Oh, wow.
fucking life.
Does it taste like you remember the other Milos?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It tastes exactly the same as I remember.
I think it's finer,
Maybe it is.
but that's not a bad thing. You can still have Milo.
I mean, I haven't had it in like 20 years now. So now that I'm having it again, everything's just so much better.
Yeah, I love a little Milo.
Ooh,
You look good.
thank you so
You
much.
look
glowing.
happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. I got that Milo glow.
Yeah.
So, John H. Kellogg invented cornflakes, the first dry, flaked breakfast cereal, which became the most popular dry breakfast cereal in the world and transformed the typical American breakfast. Kellogg was a medical doctor who looked after patients at a sanitarium and promoted wellness through a healthy vegetarian diet and routinely experimented with new food products, according to the National Inventors Hall of Fame, which he's a member. Kellogg was working with his brother William Keith Kellogg on a new kind of wheat meal for patients at the sanitarium when the process that resulted in cornflakes was accidentally discovered. Rolling out wheat dough that had been forgotten overnight, the brothers discovered that instead of loaves of bread, they got thin flakes.
Oh.
Kellogg's patients liked the new food and he sold over 100,000 pounds of the cereal in the first year.
Wow.
Just old bread.
Yeah. We left it overnight, cut it up, rolled it out and went, oh, look at these little...
Why is it called cornflakes then?
Yeah.
I don't actually know.
What's in cornflakes?
Not corn.
Just wheat?
Yeah, it's just wheat bits.
Wheat bits?
Wheat picks.
Why is it
Wheat
sort of
Bix was
yellowy
taken.
then? And delicious.
Piss.
Oh, it's piss.
Yeah. it appears.
Lots of nutrients then.
Now, there is a commonly circulated fact that Kellogg invented cornflakes to prevent masturbation. I've heard this. I've wanted to believe this.
Yeah, it's not true.
But the good people at Snopes.com have debunked it. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh, that is disappointing.
So how did he stop everyone from wanking? How come no one does it
Nobody
anymore?
wanks anymore.
There's a lot of slapping.
Slapping.
Stop. No. Have a cornflake.
A lot of that. Because that's universal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It's going to make you stop.
Oh.
I mean, dogs get it.
Yeah.
Dogs get it.
They don't speak English.
They do not speak
And they do not
English.
wank.
They don't wank.
Not when you go,
They also put down the thing they've started eating on the street.
So Snopes.com writes, according to the available evidence, cornflakes were primarily created as an easy-to-digest, pre-prepared and healthy breakfast food.
Okay, that does sound more like reasonable than a wank prevention scheme.
In particular for patients at the sanitarium, I mentioned, the product was never advertised as an anti-masturbatory morning meal. But I need you to not worry. He is still a bit eccentric with some very warped views on sex and masturbation.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank God.
let's go.
Kellogg was a devout Seventh-day Adventist. Kellogg encouraged strict abstention from almost all forms of sexual activity or contact, even among married heterosexual couples.
Cool.
Kellogg and his own wife had separate bedrooms and reportedly abstained from ever consummating their marriage.
Fuck yeah, Kellogg.
This guy does not fuck!
But this guy's a virgin. Yes.
I have questions about why. Like, why?
Because he was a religious man.
Yeah, but then at least
And
they
maybe
should be
he
like...
thought, I don't want to fuck my wife.
Yeah, no, I know who he wanted to fuck.
Me.
Yes.
And I said no.
No. And he said, well, if I can't have Michelle,
Milo girl.
then I'm never fucking it ever.
So
ever.
many men.
And you
say
were like,
that.
sure.
Like, what?
Doesn't affect me.
How do you think, what's going to happen to mankind if we all follow your idea of just living with a housemate and never having sex?
We'll probably all go ascend to heaven together.
Did he have any children?
No children.
They didn't
Oh, yeah,
consummate.
they didn't consummate the man.
No
I
children.
thought maybe it was like a Mary Jesus thing.
Okay. In his 1887 book, Plain Facts for Old and Young, Embracing the Natural History and Hygiene of Organic Life, which I will add sold very well. And I'm serious, it sold very well. Kellogg devoted an entire section of the book to masturbation, which he referred to as self-pollution and the solitary vice, and described as the most dangerous of all sexual abuses.
I reckon there's worse.
Yeah, I'd argue differently.
I can name a few worse ones.
I think I think you could have a wank and it's all right.
Yeah.
That's not what he said.
Yeah.
What did he reckon about 69ing?
Yeah, surely that's okay.
Surely.
As long as it was
Not even on birthdays or anniversaries.
as long as it was healthy food, he was up for it.
A meal for two.
According to Snopes, Kellogg identified multiple purported causes and harms related to the habit of masturbation, many of which would appear laughably unscientific to a modern reader. Among the causes he listed were exciting and irritating food and stimulants such as tea, coffee, wine, beer, and tobacco. That made you wank, and it was not good.
Wow.
He also loved an enema.
Oh, okay.
He advocated the frequent use of an enema machine to cleanse the bowel with several gallons of water.
Yeah.
Water enemas were followed by the administration of a pint of yogurt.
Oh.
Up your clacker.
Half was eaten, the other half was administered by the enema machine. Quote, thus planting the protective germs where they were most needed and may render most effective service. The yogurt served to replace the intestinal flora of the bowel, creating what Kellogg claimed was a squeaky, clean intestine.
Oh, that's too much yogurt as well, though. And I like yogurt, but that's too much.
Half pint up the up
Oh,
the
half
clacker.
a pint. Maybe that's not that bad.
Half a pint up the clacker? That's too much for
That's
me.
too much up my ass, yes.
I ordered a small yogurt. Well, and you got to ask though, he said you get a squeaky clean intestine. Did it work? Well, now we know most inventors live long lives. Let's check in with Dr. John H. Kellogg, who died in 1943, aged 91.
Wow. I mean, the yogurt thing is good for you. Well, you can eat it. You
Yeah,
can
you
go
can just
from
eat it.
top down.
Top down, that's my
Go
preferred
top down,
method.
top
Just
down.
eat the yogurt, good probiotics.
Gut health, top down.
Yep.
Top down.
That's fine.
And his younger brother, Will Keith Kellogg, who
What did he put in his asshole?
we'll never know. He's the one who actually founded the Kellogg Company.
Okay.
So he's the Kellogg. He also died aged 91.
Wow.
Pretty good. But I think he had children. He had descendants. So he was.
he's fucking.
He was fucking.
Do you also think it hasn't been the case with some of these who haven't patented their inventions, so they haven't made heaps of money from it? I was going to argue probably a lot of these inventors are quite wealthy. And money is going to, especially in the old days,
extend your life.
that's going to extend your life because you're able to afford better quality food. You have a roof over your head. But that's not always the case with some of these inventors because they haven't made money off their inventions. Idiots.
Fucking
The second I
She
invent
got
something,
us.
I'm fucking making so much cash off it.
Same.
I'm not doing anything for the good of humanity. No. What's humanity ever done for me?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Now, some accidental discoveries come from nature. Let me ask you, what's your favourite type of apple?
Fantastic question. Pink lady.
I like royal. The royal
Royal Galar?
Royal Galar.
Yeah. I love a Granny Smith for stewing.
Well,
Put it in a pie.
let me just say, ding, ding, ding. Granny Smith, named after Maria Ann Smith,
Wow.
an Englishwoman who moved from England to New South Wales in Australia in 1839. Together with her husband, she purchased a small orchard in Eastwood, which is now a suburb of Sydney. They started cultivating fruit. Little did they know they were about to change the fruit game forever.
Whoa.
Wow, imagine changing the fruit game forever.
It's big. It's a big deal.
All right, let's just brainstorm. What are some new fruits we're going to invent? Okay, here we go.
Chariot banana.
Chariot banana.
Cherry. Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Cherry Garcia.
Cherry Garcia.
What about just like a giant cherry?
Yep, giant cherry.
Like an apple-sized cherry.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Dakota Fanning.
Cool.
Sorry.
Dakota Fanning.
No wrong answers.
No wrong
I was
answers.
just
We're
trying not to
brainstorming.
stop myself from... I'm trying to brainstorm. I'm trying to be open. Yes, and...
I love it.
Yeah.
Dakota
Fanning.
what colour is a Dakota Fanning?
Yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Post-it note yellow.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. The best yellow.
Yeah.
I reckon like an apple-sized grape would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because I love grapes. They are expensive.
Yeah.
If you just have like one big one,
It would be heavy because there'd be so much...
it'd be quite
wet.
dense.
It'd be a dense boy. It'd be like a booby.
And it would be like quite
Teenage
it'd be
boys.
nice to bite into.
Oh, it'd be fun to throw at people
Can't
too.
trust people with big
Yeah.
grapes.
Would it have a seed in
The
it?
world is not ready.
People are going to be fucking those grapes, I reckon. I don't... That's probably why they didn't make them.
Kellogg would be rolling in his grave if you had this
He'd
conversation.
hate that. I went to a place where they have exotic fruits in Queensland. They got all these different types of fruits, and they got a fruit that's like a chocolate. It tastes like chocolate.
What?
Yeah,
But it's
Wow.
fruit.
it's fruit.
That's
it looks
good.
kind of like a dragon fruit, and it's chocolate.
I love dragon fruit.
It's crazy.
Yum.
They got all these fruits.
That'd be great. Okay, so there you go. We've come up with some new fruits.
Fantastic. Granny Smith.
Dakota Fanning.
Smith, that lady,
Yes.
had 8 children and later got the nickname Granny Smith as she got older.
Too many children.
She's like, well, Kellogg's not having any. I'm going to have it.
I've got to have a bunch
I've got
of
to
kids.
say, I did just double check. He had 8 adopted children, but never any biological.
Oh, shit. He's not fucking either.
Never banged.
That's a family that don't fuck.
Oh, no, sorry. The one I was talking about.
Oh, so the Virgin man.
The Virgin man never banged.
The other
Adopted
one
8.
did bang.
His brother had 5 biological children.
So they adopted 8. Okay, well, you could have got some, I was going to say for free.
He's like, I'm happy to pay. Happy to pay by adopting these people
You
that
could
need
have
a
just
loving
made some
home.
from scratch. I'm like one of those
make
people
it
who's
from
like,
scratch.
why are you buying pasta? It's easy to make. It only takes hours.
So there's some debate as to the actual history of the Granny Smith apple. The first description of the origin of the apple was not published until decades later in 1924. It's one of those ones. The story's passed down a bit. But in that year, Farmer and Settler published the account of a local historian who had interviewed 2 men who had known Smith. So it's like someone's interview, blah, blah, blah. I knew that one person who knew that person. But the story is, one of the interviews recalled that in 1868, he, then 12 years old, and his father had been invited to Smith's farm to inspect a chance seedling, an apple tree, that had sprung near a creek. Smith had dumped there among the ferns the remains of French crab apples that had been grown in Tasmania. Another story recounted that Smith had been testing French crab apples for cooking and throwing the apple cores out her window as she worked. She later found that new cultivar had sprung up underneath her kitchen windowsill.
So it's either under her kitchen window or by a creek.
Yes. Somewhere on the farm, a tree just happens to have grown from an apple core or apple seed.
Wow.
Whatever the case, Smith took it upon herself to propagate the new cultivar on her property, finding the apples good for cooking, stews,
Yum.
and for general consumption. The namesake of the apple, Granny Smith herself, died a couple of years later. Not sure how old she was, sadly. But the apple
Well, she was a granny.
Yeah, she must have been fairly old.
Yeah.
But the apple that bears her name has since taken the world by storm. Not just big in Australia, the US Apple Association reported in 2019, which I can't believe that exists, that Granny Smith was the third most popular apple in the United States of America.
Wow.
Their top 5 were, number 1, Galar.
Wow.
Number 2, Red Delicious,
Oh, I love Red Delicious.
which had previously been number 1 for 50 years, so this was controversial in 2019.
Whoa.
wow.
Number
You know,
3.
I love Red Delicious. I forgot about Red Delicious. I'd like to take back everything I said about Galar.
Okay. Well, I've got a couple more for you just in case.
Okay, sorry. You're trying to do a podcast, but I just want to make it clear that I am a Delicious.
You're a Red Delicious.
I'm a delicious.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Number 3, Granny Smith. Number 4, Fuji.
Yep.
Number 5,
I like Fuji.
Honey Crisp.
Fuck is that?
I don't know about
Never
that
heard of
one
that
either.
in my life.
fuck is
like
that?
those people watching Dancing with the Stars being like, I don't even know who this is.
Yeah.
Who's that? Don't recognise anyone.
You call this
Facebook.
celebrity goggle box? I don't know any of
I
them.
don't know any of them. I'm 100 years old.
Australia's most popular apple is the Pink Lady, which was originally
Oh,
bred.
so I'm a basic bitch.
Well, it was originally bred by British Australian John Cripps, who passed away in 2022 at 95.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
These people live long lives. And the Pink Lady is a cross between a Lady Williams and a Golden Delicious. Lady Williams is also a chance seedling, meaning that just one tree happened to produce that type of apple.
Oh.
That tree is located just outside Donnybrook in Western Australia, and Lady Williams is named after Maud Williams.
There you go.
There you go. I didn't know that much about apples. I started doing
that's fun.
a deep dive.
That's really fun.
I like that the Granny Smiths just kind of appeared. They're like, oh, they're quite nice.
I know. That's nice.
let's just grow heaps more of this one.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. It's amazing.
They're great. They're great in a pie or in a stew. Love stewed apple. Yum. Now I want stewed apple.
I've never had stewed apple.
Never.
No, can I come over for some stewed apple?
Yes.
Thank you.
Our growing list of desserts that we're having tonight is really growing.
I'm
Yeah.
going to eat so much. I'm actually going to Smith and Daughters tonight,
Yum.
which is one of my favourite restaurants.
What do you think they'll have on the dessert menu?
Fucking stewed apple, ice cream,
Yeah.
look at Maddie's. Those 3 options.
The works.
And I'm going to say, load me up, Daddy! Give me all!
Okay, finally, we get to what is possibly the most important accidental invention. A breakthrough that has saved millions of lives that has since been called the single greatest victory ever achieved over disease.
Is it gonna be
Vincent
human
Diesel.
life? Vincent Diesel.
Human life.
Human life. Whoopsie.
Hey, what's that? Oh, that felt all right. 9 months later, what the fuck's that?
Looks like me. That's crazy.
Oh, that's a triumph over disease.
I'm talking about penicillin.
Ah, yes.
And Jess, of course, knows the inventor of penicillin
Yes,
very well.
Marie Curie.
What have I told you? There is a rival claim.
This is bullshit.
So before the breakthrough, a relatively minor infection could prove incurable or even deadly. A small scratch, childbirth, STIs, these were all big killers. And it all starts with one person,
Marie Curie?
or Scottish physician and microbiologist Alexander Fleming.
I was very confident.
He's Scottish that it was Marie Curie.
On a Marie Curie episode, I was like, and I'm waiting for them to mention penicillin. I was so sure.
But that's okay. I don't know who that is. I know that name, but I don't know who that is.
Radium.
Oh.
Is that right?
That's right. And polonium.
Yeah.
Polonium.
But not penicillin, allegedly.
Some say.
So
She did win.
Not my penicillin inventor.
Did win 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different fields of science, which
Yeah.
has never been done before.
She was very impressive. Yes.
But she didn't do penicillin. That was Alexander Fleming. Even Alexander Fleming's career in medical research is kind of an accident.
Oh.
The national... Oh, what's this? Wanders into a science lab.
Oh. I'm a doctor.
He wanders in, he's got a couple of beakers, he like combines them and he's like, oh, there you go. Oh no, put that on an infection. Oh, it's better. Hero.
The National Library of Medicine
He
writes,
was Scottish, so he's... Oh. All right. Hooroo. I love the Scottish people so
Beautiful,
much.
a beautiful people, a beautiful language.
And they don't sound like that. I wish I could do your accent. Down around about there. Don't worry about it, hen.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
Is it getting better? Is it improving?
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Oh, guy.
I'd stop though, but
I'll stop.
it's getting better.
I think like if I came on and I sort of was more gentle with it, maybe you'd believe it.
That's nice.
But what I'm doing is just really going for something aggressive that I've never heard from one of them.
One of them.
That's what I call Scottish people. Them. It's us versus them.
Of course.
And they're winning. They're my favourite people. I love them so much.
Wow, you have a favourite people?
Yes.
That's fucked, dude.
Sorry. They have kilts and really good music,
That
and
kind
it's a
of
beautiful
implies
country.
you have a least favourite.
Well, I do, and they're called. No, don't make fun. I have a UK tour coming up, and I can't.
You were going to say the British?
Yeah, but I actually do love London
Okay.
very much.
Oh, yeah, they're your favourite people now.
Okay.
She's full
No,
of shit.
they're my second favourite people. My favourite people are the people of Scotland
And
who
the
hate the people of England. That's really hard for me. I'm
people
like,
of
Dad,
England
don't fight.
should buy tickets to your shows.
Yeah, they should buy tickets. Go on my internet and sign up for the mailing list, and then you'll find out when I'm coming to your town. This is me announcing my UK tour.
great, one exclusive.
And you've nailed it.
What are you talking about, Dave? What did you want?
Alexander Fleming.
That's right.
Alexander Fleming.
It was an accident.
Oh, yes, the National Library of Medicine writes how he got into medical research. It says, while serving as a private in the London Scottish Regiment of the Territorial Army, he became a recognised marksman. Wishing to keep Fleming in St Mary's to join its rifle club, the club's captain convinced him to pursue a career in research rather than in surgery, as the latter choice would require him to leave the school. The captain introduced him to Sir Elmroth Wright. Incredible name.
Elmroth. Bring it back.
Never heard of it. Elmroth Wright.
That's a great name.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And Sir Elmroth, a keen club member and a pioneer in immunology and vaccine research, who agreed to take Fleming under his wing. It was with this research group that Fleming stayed throughout his entire career. So basically, a guy wanted him to stay in his rifle club and was like, you should study this because that means you don't have to leave my club.
Wow.
And that just basically changed the world.
Wow.
When World War I broke out, he served in the Army Medical Corps as a captain, watching many, many people die, many from infected wounds. At the time, you get infected, not a lot they could do. After the war, he discovered and named lysozyme, an enzyme with weak antibacterial properties. Again, this was kind of an accident. He had a cold and put a bit of mucus on a petri dish, which is kind of gross, but then lost it for a couple of weeks in his messy laboratory. Apparently, he's shit everywhere all the time, this guy. 2 weeks later, he found it and noted that numerous colonies of bacteria had grown on the slide. However, he noticed that where the mucus was, there was no bacteria. Upon further investigation, Fleming discovered the presence of a substance in the mucus that stopped bacterial growth, and he called it lysozyme. He examined other bodily fluids too, including tears, which he wasn't sure how to get. He tried holding...
Oh, that's so sad.
He didn't know how to feel.
Well, he tried holding onions in front of volunteers and then moved to lemons, which he squeezed in front of their faces. The volunteers who were lab assistants were paid 3 pence a piece for their tear donations.
Oh, my God.
That's
Sign
grim.
me up, Daddy. I will
Yeah.
cry.
I'll be one of your top donors.
I'm going to be rich.
Yeah. I'm gonna be on a stamp or something, I reckon.
I was doing a panel show the other day, and there was like a joke about a chimpanzee that had a birthday party, and it got for its birthday a picture book, and I was like, well, what's the pictures of? And they were like, oh, they were pictures of his family, and I lost my mind. And I was like, I can't, you have to stop filming. Like, I can't. I'm sorry. You just brought this up because you thought it would be a funny joke, but he's looking at pictures of his family, and then there's footage of him being like, wow, like he's so happy looking at the pages.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
you disgust me.
Do you ever show your dog pictures of herself?
Yes, all the
I
time.
love to show Goose what he looked like when he was a baby.
Do you get any reaction?
No.
Oh, yeah, Humphrey looks around the phone like
Videos, videos. If it's moving, he'll sort of watch, and I'm like, "That's you! That's you when you were little."
That's cute.
And then he goes off and does something else, and I'm like, I'm crying. I'm in the fetal position.
Oh, if we put a bucket in front of your eyes that day, you would have made many
man.
pence.
Millions of pence.
As well as tears, he tried other fluids, including saliva, blood, semen, and pus. No.
Much easier to get the semen.
Yeah, get the semen.
Just held a lemon in front of a man.
Squeezed it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
They all showed lysozyme, and in doing so, Fleming had proved that living organisms produced an innate bacteria-fighting agent.
So it's good to cry on wounds.
Yeah, cry it up.
Oh.
There you go. Superglue it up.
Super
Cry it up.
Cried up.
This laid the groundwork for his next accidental discovery and made sure he paid attention. A few years later, when in September 1928, Fleming came back to work after a holiday. He again noticed a petri dish containing a sample, and inside the sample, the growth of bacteria was being inhibited. Before he'd left him, he'd been doing a series of experiments involving the staphylococcal bacteria, which causes staph infections that you sometimes hear about, golden staph and the like. An uncovered petri dish sitting next to an open window had become contaminated with mold spores, and these spores stopped the bacteria. He was able to isolate the mold and identified it as a member of the Penicillium genus. So, yeah, he came back from holiday and was like, oh, this is weird. This bit here doesn't have any bacteria. This mold seems to have done something. I wonder what it is.
That's interesting. And gross.
And again, from the Library of Medicine, he found it to be effective against all gram-positive pathogens, which are responsible for diseases such as scarlet fever, pneumonia, gonorrhea, meningitis, and diphtheria. He discerned that it was not the mold itself, but some, quote, juice it had produced that killed the bacteria.
Juice?
Probably mold juice.
Yeah, well, and even this in the Library of Medicine, it says he named the, quote, mold juice penicillin.
So penicillin is
Call
mold
it mold
juice.
juice, yeah. He published his findings to little scientific fanfare in 1929.
Wow.
Fleming found it difficult to isolate this precious mold juice in large quantities, and honestly, his breakthrough was really overlooked. Fleming gave up trying to develop penicillin in large quantities and moved on to other stuff.
Wow.
Close to a decade would pass until 1937, when scientists, Australian Howard Florey and German-born British man Ernst Chain, came across Fleming's research. At Oxford, they were investigating microorganisms and the substances they produced, and were excited by penicillin and assembled a team of scientists to work solely on what they called the Penicillin Project.
Wow.
PP.
PP represent. It took 3 years to come up with a successful but painfully inefficient process to produce pure penicillin. Gallons of mold broth were required to produce just a fingernail of penicillin, and they had to collect the mold in bedpans, milk churns, food tins, and even bathtubs.
Wow.
You have to get a shitload of mold, get a little bit of juice, and then you can get the penicillin.
You only get a
Wow.
tiny little amount.
Tiniest amount.
Interesting.
Special fermentation vessels had to be developed to hold the liquid, and 6 women, known as the Penicillin Girls,
Get it, girls.
were employed to tend to the fermenting broth and farm, quote unquote, a few precious milligrams of penicillin from it every week.
Wow.
Penicillin was trialled on human patients and had great results, but the quantities of penicillin were so low they had to make it last any way they could, and it was discovered that 80% of the penicillin was excreted in urine, so they had to collect the patient's urine and then recycle it to get the penicillin back out of it.
Wow.
Howard Florey's wife, herself a doctor, Dr. Ethel Florey, helped carry out the first clinical trials, and according to sciencemuseum.org, Dr. Ethel Florey was regularly observed on the pee patrol, cycling to patients' houses to collect their urine.
Wow.
That's full on.
I've
Yeah.
seen Jess on the pee patrol.
Yeah.
Just collecting
around the neighbourhood.
bucket
Around
after
the
bucket.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Hey, you got any piss?
Got my big bell. Bring out your piss. That's what I say. Put it in the little basket on my bike.
Yeah.
Away we go. Ding, ding. It's a piss lady.
We know.
Do we still-
You hear it? Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, piss lady.
Honey, can I go see the piss lady? Not today, sweetheart.
Not today, honey.
You don't have any piss.
With the outbreak of World War II, it was difficult to get the production process to increase in the UK, so the team moved to the USA, where it was further developed, and by 1943, by which time the US had joined the war, they had sufficient penicillin stocks to satisfy the demands of the armed forces of the United States as well as their allies. PBS writes, from January to May 1942, 400 million units of pure penicillin were manufactured.
Oh my God.
By the end of the war, American pharmaceutical companies were producing 650 billion, with a B, units per month. So remember how they struggled to make a fingernail's worth a couple of years earlier, but it really ramped up when they discovered how good it was at fighting infection.
Yeah. That's amazing. But what do we use penicillin for now? I feel like I don't know if I've had penicillin.
Is it in all the antibiotics?
I think it's an ingredient in antibiotics.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that was my question, and I instead just went, "What do we have? When we use?
When do you have it? Breakfast
or lunch?"
And it clearly worked, because in World War I, the death rate from bacterial pneumonia was 18%, and in World War II, it fell to less than 1%.
Amazing.
TheConversation.com asks, did penicillin help win the war? And they answer their own question. It certainly saved thousands of soldiers from dying of gangrene and sepsis, but its greatest contribution to the war effort may have been the treatment of gonorrhea, helping keep the army at full strength. Apparently, it was taking people down left, right, and centre beforehand.
And how was it spreading?
People were banging.
Kellogg.
Yeah, Kellogg would be rolling in his grave by that point.
You mustn't be doing that. There's a war to be won.
Exactly.
Cut it out.
It had taken 16 years from initial observation to useful production of penicillin, but it changed medical science forever. And you might be wondering why Alexander Fleming gets all the credit and less people have heard of Howard Florey and Ernst Chain, who worked for years to develop penicillin in a useful form, with a whole other team of scientists who get zero shout-outs. Well, when that huge breakthrough was reported in 1942, Howard Florey prohibited his Oxford team from seeking media coverage, so only Fleming was widely publicised in the media, which led to the misconception that he was entirely responsible for the discovery and development of the drug. Fleming himself referred to this as the Fleming myth. All three men, however, that is Alexander Fleming, Howard Florey and Ernst Chain, were jointly awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1945. Really capturing the spirit of accidental inventions here, Fleming later said, "One sometimes finds what one is not looking for. When I woke up just after dawn on September 28, 1928, I certainly didn't plan to revolutionise all medicine by discovering the world's first antibiotic or bacteria killer, but I suppose that was exactly what I did."
I'm not the same as the other girls. I guess I just
stumbled upon it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, some people look for stuff all the time, but I'm more like, just chill.
Yeah.
Leave mess.
To see what's there.
He also later said, "I did not invent penicillin. Nature did. I only discovered it by accident."
Yeah, that's a nice man.
In 1999, Alexander Fleming was named in Time magazine's list of the 100 most influential people of the 20th century.
Fair.
And the discovery of penicillin is estimated to have saved over 80 million lives and counting.
Whoa.
Australian Prime Minister Sir Robert Menzies said, "In terms of world well-being, Howard Florey was the most important man ever born in Australia, and he was on the $50 note here from 1973 to 1995.
Oh, wow.
There you go. And their ages, I'm afraid it's a disappointing end, because Alexander Fleming died at 73, Howard Florey was 69, and Ernst Chain also 73.
Wow.
But if you add them all up, that's a really long life.
That's very old. But how long has nature lived for?
Yeah.
Nature's the real inventor.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow. There we go.
Thank you.
That's got to be like 200.
Plus,
at least.
That's a 200 pluser.
That's 200 plus.
That's sick.
That's sick. And that's where we'll end things today. This report could go forever because, like I said,
of course,
50% of all inventions are accidents. I could talk forever. They're the ones that I found that tickled my fancy, but maybe one day we'll do a part 2. Or if you let me know an invention that you love.
I accidentally invented a cocktail, 2 cocktails at schoolies. One is called the Betty White. It's apple juice and cinnamon and vodka.
Yep.
And then the second one is it's called a Colonel Sanders, and it is whatever you're drinking, but you have a chicken wing, and then you dunk it in, and then you cheers the person with the chicken wing, and then you throw it over your shoulder.
I think I like the Betty White better.
Yeah, the Betty White's yum.
Because vodka goes nicely with juice.
Whereas chicken doesn't go as nicely.
Yeah, with whatever you're drinking.
It's fun to throw stuff over your shoulder.
It's fun to have an activity.
Yeah, that is true. Sort of like, that's why tequila shots are fun. There's a process to them.
There's a process. It's a game.
It's a game.
You've got a haircut.
I've just taken off my headphones momentarily, and
You look
Michelle's.
nice.
Thank you.
I've got to go.
Well, that's well.
I don't like your hair.
I'm out.
No, I do like your hair. It looks great.
Thank you so much.
You look like a real Robert Zest. Is that what?
David Zest.
David Zest. Thank you.
Was the man's name
Please.
Robert Zest?
Robert Zest was my
Oh, no,
father.
that was
I
no
see.
man.
Robert
was no
Zest was my
man.
father.
He looked like
It
a
was-
regular David
It was
Zest.
the sun zest.
Yeah, it
juice.
wasn't a real man.
I forgot it was from the.
It was a drink.
I was like, what did Robert Zest
it was Robert,
invent?
wasn't it?
Was he the post-it guy, Robert Zest? No, that does bring us to the end of the episode. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on this Blockbuster
you.
special.
I can't believe you let me into Block. That's crazy.
You made it. There's the
I was
fifth
banned
most-
from a Blockbuster video once.
That makes sense.
Did you stop
thanks
paying
for
fines or did you not
didn't.
rewind? What
I
happened?
didn't pay my fines. Yeah.
You got banned.
Yeah.
I think it's also the fire you started in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Who can say?
Who can say?
Not them. They're all dead.
Now, Michelle, if we wanted to see you coming up or find you online, I think you've got some sort of UK tour to announce.
So if you go to my Instagram and you go to my little, the link, there's you can sign up for my mailing list or you can go to the tour website, which is the ticket website. Just so you'll see whatever I do. I just announced a show at Sydney Festival, which is crazy. I'm doing Average Bear, my show, but with a string section at Wharf 1 at Sydney Theatre Company for Sydney Festival. Isn't that mad?
gonna be
Wow,
amazing.
when's that?
Somehow they've been tricked into offering me this. It's in, I think, January.
That sounds awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
That
So
sounds
I'm
so
doing
awesome.
that. So that's on sale. You can get tickets to that and then sign up to the mailing list and follow me on Instagram to find out about the any international things that may or may not be coming up.
We love it. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I love you.
Bye-bye.
Well, that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show where we get to thank some of our wonderful Patreons for supporting us over at patreon.com/dogoonpod.
But there is also a link on dogoonpod.com, so that was great instincts.
Yes. I never do this bit. I genuinely kind of blacked out through most of that. I was I was just autopilot.
That was autopilot. Because, Matt usually does this bit. We haven't addressed the fact Matt's not here.
Yeah.
He's traveling in the United States of America at the moment.
Having a wonderful
He's
time.
living it up.
And we miss him.
We just heard from him. He's had a deep dish in Chicago.
Yeah, and he said it was a lovely depth,
Yeah.
which is the funniest food review I've ever heard in my life.
funny.
A lovely depth.
Well, I was worried it would be a bit too deep, but it was a lovely depth.
A lovely depth.
We both laughed a lot at that.
We really enjoyed that. So yeah, Matt's not here, so a big thank you once again to Michelle for hanging out with us and
Yeah, so nice.
filling the void of Matt Stewart. So it's just Dave and I for the Patreon section, which honestly, everyone's happy about.
While the Matt's away, the kids will play.
So the first thing that we like to do is, and if you want to get involved in this, you can join us on the Sydney Scheinberg Deluxe level. Is that correct?
That's right.
Where you get to submit a fact, a quote, or a question. And it has a little jingle. It goes something like this. Fact, quote, or question. Ah, he always remembers the ding. Ah, she always remembers the sing. I was talking about myself in the third person
Yeah,
there.
I love that. Love a rebrand.
Do you want to read the fact, quote, or questions?
Yes, how about I do that? I'll put my little glasses on.
Thank you. Put your little glasses on.
Pop them on. Can
You
you
know
do
what
that?
we also haven't addressed?
Yeah.
And it's great to do it an hour and a half in. Because I haven't milked it enough yet so far, but I was hit by a car.
I didn't know if you wanted to tell the good people at home about
It was
that.
like a week ago now, so I'm still milking it.
Jess has been hit by a car. And in a way, they should know about it. Even more so because you were on the ride home from a bonus podcast.
That's right.
You and I just recorded that afternoon.
That's right.
We went
So-
our separate ways. I drove home. I said, see you later. You said, oh, I'm just going to go. I'll pack my things and I'm going to get on my bike and
Yep.
head off.
Yep.
And I said, I love you.
You did say that. That was your final words to me. So I just think the Patreons should feel bad, is what you're saying.
You were hit by a car.
That it was only because we were recording a bonus episode for them.
That's right. And it was a fantastic bonus episode that I implore people to check out if they're on the Patreon about Chris Lemons.
That's right.
A diving incident in the North Sea. Gosh, you had me on the edge of my seat that whole episode.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, you were off your seat when someone hit you with their car.
And it's good to joke about it.
I was genuinely so upset and terrified when you first messaged by saying, I need to preface this. My first message will say,
Yeah.
I'm okay, but, and that came up first. And then you said, I've been hit by a car.
I did
Very
that to a
scary.
few people, and they all. The feedback was that really scared them. But I mean, like
No,
if
honestly,
I just started
better
with,
than I've been hit by a car. Honestly,
Exactly.
it prepared me
Yeah.
to know that you're okay.
I'm okay.
So do you want to tell people you are okay?
I am okay. I'm fine. I've got bruised ribs,
Yeah.
but I'm okay. But I wanted to milk it now in that, like, can you do all the hard part?
Oh, sure.
This.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, great. And, get the door for me and carry my stuff downstairs.
Cookie dinner.
Yes, please,
Tuck
if you
in
don't
at
mind.
night.
That's genuinely what somebody has had to do for several days. But I'm up and I'm out and about and I'm okay.
Yes,
So thank you for your concern.
we're so thankful that you're okay. My
And-
gosh, it was scary.
Feel bad because we were making something for you and it nearly killed me. And I just think you should think about that.
That's right. You risk your life for our art.
See, Matt would hate me making that joke. He would hate that, but he's not here. So I get to make the joke that I nearly died for you, Patreons.
So while the Matt's away, we will milk the Patreon.
I'll get the guilt.
So basically, people can submit. Have you said this bit? I've also on autopilot. A fact, a quote, or a question.
Yes.
We read out their name. They also give themselves a title.
It can be a brag. It can be a suggestion. It can be a recipe. It can be anything. It can be really anything you want to share with us. We're open to it.
And the first fact, quote, question this week comes from fantastic supporter of the show, Soph Waldron.
Soph, our group photographer, and always in the front row of our shows. It's always a comfort to see Soph.
Yes, love seeing you out there at all our shows, Soph. And Soph's title this week is She's 30, but she's neither flirting nor thriving.
And it's hard, Soph, because, that saying is out there, 30, flirty and thriving. You feel like you have to live up to this expectation at 30. But it's okay to not be flirty or flirting or thriving. It's okay to just be indifferent and surviving. That's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
That's okay.
She's 30, indifferent and surviving. That's good. And Soph's given us a question this week, and the question is, what is your go-to dinner party question?
Ooh, that's good. I mean, am I hosting the dinner party? Am I a guest at the dinner party? It doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, I suppose you're still asking questions, maybe?
No, I don't ask questions. I allow people to ask me questions because I'm always the most interesting person at the dinner party. I'll Google it, but I also
You'll Google
I'll
it?
Google it. I'll come up with some options for
So
you,
then,
Dave.
you look down at your phone and you go, what is
Dinner party questions. Okay,
your middle name?
dinner party questions for adults. What was your first job?
Oh, okay, our kids' party entertainer.
Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
Jess Perkins.
I was pointing at myself anyway, but that's what you said. Who is someone you really admire?
Jess Perkins.
What's your earliest memory?
Possibly Jess Perkins.
And what made you smile recently?
Definitely Jess Perkins.
Jess Perkins being alive. One of mine would be like if you had a genie, you got 3 wishes.
Oh, wow, this is good.
What are your 3 wishes?
Incredible.
That's a good question, I think.
That is a good one.
Do you want to think about that?
About my wishes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so tricky. Obviously, world peace.
Yeah. Obviously, that's number 1.
Food for everyone.
It is tough. I can really only think of one.
What's a fun one? Because you got to make it fun ones, right?
I always say I would wish for like a very good singing voice.
Oh, nice one.
Not that I would necessarily like change careers and want to be, but like it would be really nice to be able to like get in front of a crowd and sing and people go, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's lovely. Because I break.
All you anyone is, that's lovely.
That's not.
That's
I do
lovely,
break
that.
into song a bit on this podcast.
Yes.
And our listeners have occasionally said to me, you can sing. And I don't necessarily agree. I'm not tone deaf, but I can't sing. And I love to sing. So I would love to be good at it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't have to be Adele. It doesn't have to completely change my life. And now I'm a huge musician. I would just love to, just sing.
Put a smile on the folks at the old folks home.
Yeah.
I would probably, I think I would probably be able to speak and understand every language.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'd love that.
Every language is a great idea, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so many languages, though.
Converse. Yeah, but it would be awesome, though, wouldn't it?
It'd be really handy, yeah, true. Because I was like, maybe I'd just pick one. But why just pick one? If the option was there that you could, I wonder if that would be something that would end up being a burden. Like you'd be on a train and you'd be understanding every language.
Yeah, yes.
You couldn't turn it off.
Tune out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe.
But it's not like the film What Women Want where you're hearing people's thoughts, I guess.
That would be my second wish.
Because you can still hear people talking on the train.
Yeah, because when it's in English, I can hear people talking.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like you're like, oh, God, that's annoying that someone's speaking English 3 rows down.
Exactly. So,
Rather than speaking Italian, which I have no idea what they're saying.
yeah, it would be very handy, actually, to be able to communicate. And I want to include, like, sign languages as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's
think
great.
that'd be great.
Definitely. Yes,
Yeah.
all sorts of sign. My go-to dinner party conversation, I don't know if it's a like question. I think it would be more, I love hearing about people's trips.
Yes.
I love hearing it. Like, I love hearing about people traveling,
Yep.
where they've been, where they're going to go, what their favorite bits were. I love talking about travel. So
That is
it's
good.
definitely some sort of travel-based thing. Have you been on any holidays lately? Have you got any coming up?
I definitely always ask anything coming up.
Yeah.
Something you're looking forward to at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's nice to have stuff to look forward to. My partner started asking people, what do you do for fun? Like, rather than just what do you do for
What do you
work?
do for work? That's good. What do
Because
you do
you're
for
more
fun?
than your job, you know? And actually, yeah, at a recent party hosted by yourself.
Did I have a party?
Well, your wife had a party.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
that's
know
right.
why. I got cagey about mentioning your wife for a second. I don't know why.
I panicked. I was like, when was the last
When
time
party? No, your
I'm not a
wife's
party.
birthday party.
That's absolutely right.
Aiden started talking to your wife's cousin and said, and what do you do for fun? And it led to this lovely conversation about his passion for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yes, there you go.
And like he spoke really enthusiastically about it, and we had lots of questions, and it was really nice.
There you go. Because you probably want to, if you just asked, what do you do for a job?
Yeah. Doctor.
He would have said doctor.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay, that's nice.
I know what that is.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And then conversation over.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm going back to
Yeah.
the bar.
I think my go-to dinner party question would probably be, who are you and what are you doing in my house?
And can I get you a drink? Because you're a good host.
So get you a drink.
That's a great question, Soph. I hope-
I'd love to hear other people's questions on that. Well, answers with their question, because
yeah.
that could be something you keep in the back pocket for future.
Yep.
Let us know, Soph. Love it.
And hey, keep being indifferent and surviving.
Yeah. Our next fact quote question is Alec Ruiz Guerrero, pardon me. Alec Ruiz Guerrero.
Beautiful.
Fantastic name. Who's given themselves the title of Do Go On, 7th Banana, in brackets, well, at least until my alarm went off.
You had a, okay. Did you have a dream?
Were you dreaming about us, Alec? Alec's given us a question this week, and is, hello again. Hello.
Hello.
Have you all ever had to either pass on a report either because there wasn't a lot of info on it or because you weren't comfortable doing the report? I hope you are all doing wonderful, and as always, muchas gracias. And there's a picture of a turtle or a tortuga, I believe that is in Spanish.
Oh, la-di-da. Have we ever passed on a topic because there wasn't enough information? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Or a lot of the time, yes.
Yeah, a lot of the
I'd say
time.
it would happen pretty frequently.
Yeah.
You look in the hat and go, I've never heard of that. Let me quickly look it up. And you think, this looks tricky
Yeah.
to get the info on it. You type it in. There's one source. It's a book that hasn't been printed since 1988.
Yes, you cannot get a copy of it.
There's no digital excerpt going,
Yep.
and you go,
There's no Wikipedia page
No
to
wiki
even
at all.
start on.
or it might be like something that happened, I don't know, in Sweden or something. There's
Yep.
not many English sources.
Yes. So, yeah, that happens all the time.
That has happened a fair bit.
Fair
and
bit.
then if you're, for me, I'll try and do that bit before I put the things up for the vote for the Patreon.
Yes, yes.
2 out of 3 of the topics, when it's outside of Blocktober, get voted by the Patreon people. You don't want to lock yourself into a topic that's not possible to research.
Yep.
So that's when I'm mostly passing on a topic, is going, I'm trying to get a 3 or 4 to vote on.
Yeah.
And maybe I get 2, and trying to find that third one can sometimes take like an hour and a
It
half.
takes so long
takes so
sometimes
long.
to pick potential
You go,
options.
oh, this is good.
Absolutely.
This could be good. Yeah. So that does happen a bit. And things that we're not comfortable about.
There have been, so we used to do a bit more like serial killer or murdery type
Yeah,
ones.
true crimey things.
We don't do
with
as
death.
many now, and that is a bit more of a conscious choice to, full disclosure, and some of them that have been suggested are too full on.
Absolutely. There's a few that in the hat that you do a Google, and within 2 sentences you realise this is horrific.
Yeah, there's no way that we can make this fun or
Yes.
interesting. And I don't really know how we made some of, I think with some of the killers that we've done where they're like, they were discovered in a somewhat ridiculous way, or, it's a really intriguing story and the investigation into them. That's one thing.
Or it's really, really old.
Yeah, that's right. It just feels a bit better.
Centuries of separation from Jack the Ripper or something like that.
Yeah. But there's some where we're sort of like, oh, that involves a lot of children dying.
Yes, we're
not into that.
We tend to really avoid those a lot.
Yeah. So well, it is a great question. We do a bit of everything, of course, but yeah, sometimes we use our own discretion, just not only to protect our own mental health, but also just because we have a pretty good idea now of what we do well. And
what will work best.
Yeah, and what will make for an interesting podcast that we can do. There's a lot of really amazing true crime stuff out there that gets really gritty and gory and awful, and that's their territory. I don't think we do that as well, so we won't do it, if that makes sense. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you, Alec.
Thanks, Alec. Our next fact code questioner is Andriana. Oh, I've actually gotten a pronunciation in brackets here that as I double click on. Andriana Jen Uoldi. Let me say that all together. Andriana Jen Uoldi.
Beautiful. Jen Uoldi's a great name.
I really like the sound of that.
Yes.
Really nice. The title that Andriana's gone for is Chief Instigator.
Ooh, an important role.
Of what? I like it.
Maybe we'll find out.
This one is a suggestion from Andriana, our Chief Instigator, which says, can you please record an episode that is mixed so the report presenter is in the middle and the two sassy riffers are on to the left and one to the right?
Ooh.
That way it will sound like we were sitting at the table with you.
That is a really fun idea.
Love the show, Andriana writes. That's interesting. So right now I'm in the middle because I was reporting. Jess would be in the right-hand headphone.
Yeah. I'd be panned to
Michelle
the right.
would be panned to the left.
Yes.
Is what would have happened then. Oh, that's quite interesting.
That is interesting.
Wonder what it would feel like if you're in the car or in the surround sound.
Yeah, I think it would feel good in headphones.
This is probably a question for our fantastic editor / audio producer, AJ.
Yeah, I think maybe we should try it as a bonus one time and see if it works.
Yeah, that's a good idea to see what people like.
Because that could be pretty interesting.
Sound fun.
I think it would take a bit to get used to, and then you'd feel all right. In headphones, it would kind of feel nice.
Yeah, we should do some sort of audible experience.
Yeah. Yeah, great. That's a good idea. Thank you so much for that suggestion.
Love that. And finally this week we've got Colin Wright, aka Hype Man for my TikTok influencer brother.
Woo!
Hell yeah, Colin. And Colin's given us a brag, which we also welcome.
We love a brag. Brags are absolutely welcome here.
Okay, here we go. So my brother, who occasionally contributes here on Fact, Quote, or Question, has a TikTok account where he talks about the collectible trading card game Magic the Gathering, which Colin adds, which would make Mona.
Read them as they're written, mate.
I know.
No editorializing.
I was trying to editorialize by writing great, which would make a good report / mini report. Among other things, he makes awesome skits where he uses green screen to play the game against himself to illustrate cool tricks and also to make very esoteric jokes about magic. I'm writing in today to brag he recently just passed 10,000 followers.
Hell yeah.
That makes him officially a TikTok professional.
Oh my God.
Love it. His account is at under the number 100 EDH. So UNDER 100 EDH. And he goes by Kobold Coffers.
Love it.
He specializes in putting together really cool decks that aren't super expensive to buy, and anyone listening who enjoys Magic the Gathering should check him out. He was the one who first got me to listen to the pod on episode 147, Annie Oakley, Little Miss Sure Shot. Thanks so much. One of my reports. I didn't really get what podcasts were at the time, so I was initially very confused, but loved the vibe, and I've been a patron for a few years now.
That's awesome.
So thanks to my brother who got me into this, and congrats to him on this cool milestone. Hell yeah. P.S. I told him it was like when Jess was campaigning for 10K on Insta because I relate too many things in our lives to the pod lol.
Yeah.
But hopefully no one hacks his account.
Oh, man. You're taking me back, Colin. What a time that was. That's really cool and really nice. A beautiful sibling moment there.
I love it. One more time. It's at under 100 EDH. Check it out.
As a fellow TikTok influencer, I've deleted TikTok now. I've been off it for 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
Really? As in like your account, or that's like on your phone so you don't scroll anymore?
Yeah, it's not on my phone anymore. So I haven't posted for a while.
Was it taking over your life, that kind of reason?
Yeah. I was wasting so much time. I was losing hours of my day.
That's why I couldn't get another social media.
Yeah, it's too much. But I did get 2 million views on one video, and then I deleted the app because I was like, I've clocked it. I'm done.
That's so good.
I'm done.
Most people would be hooked at that point, but you're like, no.
I was like, no, it was an accident.
And you're like, and my life hasn't changed.
I'm fine. I'm not rich. But that's a beautiful sibling moment there.
I love that.
Love
Good on
that.
you.
I can't imagine my brother writing into a podcast to brag about me. So that's very nice.
Now, our next section of the favourite section of the show is where we thank a few more people who have been supporting the show and we give them a shout out, and then Jess usually comes up with a little game for like a little nickname or something that we can give to each of these people.
Yeah.
It was accidental inventions, anything.
I'm going to come up with something they've invented.
Okay, great.
Oh, God. I regret this a bit already.
Look, if you're going to do it, how about I read out the names and you come up. Look, you've volunteered for it, mate. You've got to do the creative part. I'll just thank the people.
How could I use the horse name generator to make this work?
Is there a random invention generator?
Let's try. Random invention generator. Oh, my God. It's like the second thing that came up on Google.
I forgot about the horse generator. I haven't used it in ages and I love it.
Okay, let's see.
Which one have you clicked on?
I've clicked on boredhumans.com.
Fantastic. We use AI to come up with ideas for new inventions. To be clear, the inventions below are not real. They are computer generated.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
It comes up with a new invention every time you press generate, and I'm just going to read the first sentence of it.
Okay.
Because it comes up with a full paragraph.
Yeah, it looks like it really goes into like the mechanics of the patent and things like this.
But I'm just gonna read first sentence.
Yeah, to sum up what it is.
That's right.
Okay, first thank you this week goes out to Kayleen from Bradford in Great Britain.
And Kayleen has invented the methanol reagent, which is a way of reducing the toxicity and damage due to high levels of sulfur.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like it would be really helpful.
That really does.
So, good job.
Kayleen. It could be Kayleanne. Now I'm looking at that name again.
Let me have a look. That's Kayleanne, baby.
Yeah, yes. I'm sorry. Kayleanne from Bradford. We think you're great. Next up, I would like to thank from Dubbo in New South Wales. It's Catherine Bain.
Okay, I'm reading this verbatim. My invention is named the B-Wave, which I am pleased to present here today. So I will read the second sentence for this one.
Okay.
The B-Wave is a device for wireless computing without the need of costly components.
The B-Wave.
The B-Wave.
Invented by Catherine Bain.
Can you believe it?
Surname with B, so that's good stuff.
That makes sense.
On you, Catherine.
The Bain Wave would be better.
Oh, the Bain Wave. Great. Next up, thank you to Joe Bedworth from Worcester.
My invention is named a transceptor, which I am the first person to do. I have done so in such a way that I have a new name for it. It's called a transceptor, and the name is called transceptor of the body or transceptor of the mind. The new name for the transceptor is the transceiver of the body when he gives instructions to a man to put on a new hat. The hat was made with a transceptor made from a piece of cloth called a hemipod. It is said that the hat was attached to a tube that ran from the head on the hat to the head on the transceptor. I think that one's nice and clear.
That is fantastic work, Joe Bedworth.
I know I said first sentence, but that one really got away from me.
When it was like, I call this new transceptor the transceptor.
That's good stuff.
Thank you to, now this person hasn't given their surname, so we hope you know who you are. Sean. Also could be seen, but I think it's probably Sean.
Where's Sean from?
From Skye in Victoria.
Ah, yes.
Skye in Victoria. Thank you, Sean. Inventor of
the stroke switch. For use with a battery that is connected to a device attached to the front of a car and connected to a wire to the rear of the car. While driving, the battery that is connected to the rear of the car's rearview mirror is charged to generate electricity that generates power to heat up the car's air compressor units.
Why is the rearview mirror involved in electricity in any way?
I don't think it needs to be at all.
Love it.
But I'm not an inventor.
Exactly.
I don't understand these things.
Most of these inventions, like we say, come from accidents. So who knows?
That's right.
They somehow routed the electricity through the rearview mirror and made it work.
I don't have a science brain, so I don't understand it. That doesn't mean it's not helpful.
Who are we to judge?
Exactly right.
I would like to thank now from Albuquerque in New Mexico, Lydia Valentine. Inventor of?
Hole for a shield.
Hole for a shield.
After purchasing some parts and following the directions provided by the patent attorney, I was able to obtain this patent on July 19, 2010.
Great work.
The patent states that an insulating layer may come into contact with a wall, surface, or other barrier, and that is not covered by a shield.
I love that.
Hole for a shield.
I always thought that, like, you don't want a hole in your shield. But what if you just have a hole
for a shield? In place of a shield, you just have a hole. Have you thought about that?
I haven't. But I have now. Lydia Valentine. Next up from Denver, Colorado. Big shout out to Ryan King.
My invention is named Plantation Control Machine.
Okay.
The invention is described in detail below and should be known to anyone who has ever read the invention, but may not realise it. AI, I think, is a way off taking all of our jobs.
I'm happy about it, to be honest.
This invention, as described below, is a method of controlling water on plant roots. I guess that makes sense for a plantation control machine.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Are we happy with that?
Do you want me to generate another one?
Nope, love it. I absolutely love it.
Plantation control machine.
Next up from Alston in Massachusetts. Sorry to say it incorrectly. Big shout out to Hannah Lauter-Wasser.
Invention, the neural motor that you can use to create.
That powers a motor?
You can use it to create an electronic device called the smart motor. The smart motor is a small device that is connected to a smartphone or other mobile device. The device acts like a smartphone, but it also acts like a smartphone.
You can't argue with that.
You can't argue with it. And we thank the invention generator for sharing its wisdom with us.
Thank Hannah Lauter-Wasser.
For the neural motor.
Wow. I would like to thank from Williamstown here in Melbourne, Colleen Duncan. I'd love to have a beer with Colleen.
Well, Colleen invented the electrical rechargeable battery charging system.
Any questions?
I think is self-explanatory, but I will finish the sentence. Which can charge a battery of any type, including electric, hydroelectric, hydrojet, and other devices with such charge. The electrical rechargeable battery charging system.
I take my hat off to that.
I think that's an important invention and a step forward.
Thank you, Colleen. And finally for us this week, I would like to thank from Dora Creek in New South Wales. Big shout out to inventor Lucinda Farrell.
Lucinda invented electro laser sensor.
They really love the double up.
They do.
They love the double up.
Which can be used to measure energy at a certain time and for controlling lasers in a certain way. Electro laser sensor used to measure energy at a certain time. And I don't know if that means only like once a day does it work to measure energy, or you can like say, I want to measure the energy at 4:00 this afternoon. Not sure. But it can also control lasers in a certain way, which it does not expand on.
Yeah, okay. But we trust that it's all above board. The only thing left to do is check in on our Triptych Club, which is our Hall of Fame, our clubhouse for people that have been supporting the show on the shout-out level or above for 3 consecutive years. We've already given them a shout-out in the past, but to enshrine them in Do-Go-On history and thank them for their continuing service, we invite them into basically our Hall of Fame, our clubhouse, where it's a hangout zone.
Yeah.
It's a cafe. It's a restaurant.
Yep.
It's a bar. Yep. It's a theatre.
Yep.
It's a theatre restaurant.
It's a theatre restaurant. I'm behind the bar. I've got food and snacks for you. I am going to be serving the Betty White cocktail that Michelle accidentally invented. I accidentally invented a perfect toasty. I won't tell you what's in it.
Oh my gosh.
Because I haven't got the patent yet. But let me tell you, the flavour combos will blow your freaking mind. So I got that. You usually book a band as well, Dave.
Oh yeah, you're never going to believe who I got
Who
for
have
this
you
one.
got?
You will never believe. One of my all-time favourite bands, performing one of my all-time favourite albums. The Canadian band themselves, Alexis on Fire, are here to perform in full. And I booked this obviously months ago.
Wow.
And I just requested this album because it's one of my favourite. Their second album in full. The album is called Watch Out, and it opens with the track Accidents.
Wow.
And that was an accident.
That is crazy.
Can you believe that?
I can't. I won't. So without Matt here,
I refuse.
So there's
anyway, what a band.
So normally it's Matt's job. He lifts the velvet rope, lets people into the club, ticks them off the checklist.
Yes.
You hype them up, I hype you up. I think this time I will read the names. I'll check them off the list. You hype them up, and then I'll still hype you up. So it is still a lot of work for me. And I want to preface again that I was hit by a car.
So maybe we could get some sort of system, machine that lifts the velvet rope up. Maybe one of our great inventors could come up with something.
Oh yeah, I won't be able to actually lift the rope. People will have to do that themselves.
You'll have to limbo.
I've got bruised ribs. But are you ready to welcome some people in?
I'm so ready.
Okay, well, first up, I would love to welcome in from Silmar in California. Silmar, one of those. Frankie E.
Frankie E. Thanky ye.
Oh, he's good. Oh, he's good.
That felt good, everyone.
From Seattle, Washington, it's Matthew Abad.
More like Matthew A. Good.
Oh, it was right there.
Matthew A. Great.
Oh, my God, even better.
Let me upgrade you.
Oh. And finally, just the three this week, from Fitzroy North here in Melbourne in Victoria, Dean Caldwell.
More like Dean Called Great.
Oh.
Hey-oh. Well, it's not good enough for me, Dean.
How you doing? Pretty well? I want to make you pretty great.
Pretty great.
That sounded creepy. I want to make you pretty great. That sounded awful. You know what I mean?
No, we do know what you mean. You're fine. You've been hit by a car,
been hit by a car, and I deserve sympathy.
You've done so well.
I deserve sympathy and pity.
We've done 2 full episodes today.
I'm brave.
You're so brave.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
To podcasts.
Do you think there'll ever be a time in the future where someone is knighted or given one of those MBEs or whatever for services to podcasts?
If it's not us, I'll think it's the wankiest thing that's ever happened.
We'll be like,
this
Prime
feels
Minister,
right. This feels right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for acknowledging our hard work. It was tough spending all those years catching up on a weekly basis with 2 of our closest friends and sharing a laugh and telling some stories, but we did it for the nation.
You're right.
And the world.
We changed this country for the better.
Oh, I mean, you could put us on money if you insist.
The 10? Oh, come on. We're worth more than that.
There's 3 of us, for God's sake. But yeah, there you go. Well, that's everything that we need to do, isn't it, Dave?
That is absolutely it. Thank you so much for listening this far, everyone. We absolutely appreciate and love you all. And if people want to get in contact with us, Jess, we have a website. What's that all about?
It's dogoonpod.com, and you can find information about live shows. You can see all the podcasts in our podcast network. We've got a few of them now. And you can find merch, everything you need, all in one handy location.
Yeah, one look at, including your tickets to our upcoming Christmas show.
Yes.
Saturday, December the 2nd here in Melbourne, 4:30. We're back doing an afternoon show, so hopefully you can come along, spread the Christmas joy. Yeah, go to dogoonpod.com and find tickets there. We'll be back next week with our 4th most requested Blockbuster Tober special. But until then, I'll say thank you so much and goodbye.
Laters. Bye. I was hit by a car.